excessively difficult, increasingly difficult. Heavy rain throughout the day today, and the bulk of it coming in later this evening into tonight. And then by your Valentine's Day, things will become more showery, and there may be even pockets of sunshine, and we're going to slowly start to dry off. And into the weekend we go, Saturday, Sunday, and into your President's Day Monday. Looks good. We're going to warm up into the middle of next week and hold on to all that sunshine. So we've just got to get through, again, our biggest winter storm of the season. Got you covered traffic-wise. Good Daily Traffic, sponsored by law offices of Jacob M. Ronnie. Call jacob.com. And we continue to watch the roads. There's been many reports of accidents and solo vehicle spinouts and hydroplaning. So if you can avoid being on the roads, do it. The southbound side of the 14 to 5, an earlier collision had one pickup truck on its side, and the backup continues. Speeds down to 9 miles per hour. In and out of downtown, things are slowly starting to load up there. It's going to take you over half an hour to get from the West 60 from 57 inbound to downtown. And a live Caltrans camera of OC, the 55 at McFadden Avenue. Rain continues to fall there as well. Now here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
Call Jacob.
Call Jacob.
Call Jacob.
Call Jacob.
Llama Jacob.
Tawagan si Jacob.
Sayang ba ba Jacob?
Call Jacob. Definitely. He is the real deal.
Call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Welcome back. The Grammy Museum in downtown LA is launching Sonic Playground. This is an interactive music experience opening February the 14th. The The 3,000 square foot exhibit lets visitors create music, perform on stage, and explores careers in the music industry. There are hands-on activities guided by Grammy-winning artists. Sonic Playground is part of the museum's campaign for music education, which now offers free admission for visitors 17 and under. I will tell you that having been to the Grammy Museum a few times, it's actually it's a fun place to go, especially if you love music, and who doesn't like music. But I love how the museum sort of explores the intersection of different music genres and how like everything is connected to each other. It's a really cool place to go.
They had a Motown exhibit a few years ago that was spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool stuff over there.
Yeah, they do.
Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
All right, lots coming up on Good Day LA at 6 o'clock.
For sure. Evacuation warnings are set to take effect this morning across Southern California from the Pacific Palisades down to Orange County.
Our team of reporters and meteorologists will have more on the threats for flooding and mudslides at Ready. Plus, how long this will all last.
It's a big weekend on the track as NASCAR Daytona 500 returns to Daytona Beach. We're talking to experts on who are the favorites to win and what underdogs could surprise us.
Plus, we are talking with TMZ's Harvey Levin about Wendy Williams' conservatorship or guardianship. He'll be sharing what the former talk show host revealed in their candid phone conversation. All that and more coming up when Good Day LA at 6 o'clock starts right after the break. Happy Thursday. Great to be with all of you. I'm Melvin Robert.
And I'm Jen Lommer. 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Let's take a look at some of the stories that we're covering for you, starting with Mario.
We're live in Pacific Palisades where evacuation warnings are set to go into place this morning with concerns of mud and debris flows. The area is impacted and what residents can expect in this area coming up.
And a similar situation playing out here in the Eaton Fire area. We're live in Altadena, where the sandbags are up and the heavy-duty equipment is ready to go.
That's right. Also, officials urging residents near the airport fire burn scar to stay alert as the powerful storm moves in. We have everything that you need to know to stay safe, and part of that is getting over to Maria for a check on our forecast. Good morning.
Good morning to you. And yes, indeed, the rain came yesterday, as we talked about, kind of lighter version, the first wave, if you will. Now we're on to the second wave, and we're definitely seeing the rain coming down outside here at LAX. Heavier in some places. And if you think it's heavy now, well, wait till the afternoon. That's when we expect the peak impacts of the storm, and the rain is expected to get even stronger in those rainfall rates as well. Right now, we're looking at the satellite radar pictures, and you can see how the rain is more widespread at this hour. Currently, moderate rainfall, but as soon as the main cold front, which is still offshore, by the way, and the colder part of the storm moves in, which we're expecting this afternoon, the rain rates are going to get heavier, and rainfall totals are definitely going to increase, and those problems will increase as well in the way of those mud and debris flows and flooding. Currently, temperatures are in the low 50s, 52 in Pasadena, 53 in Burbank, 36 in Big Bear. It's not going to warm up too much more than that, really. We're going to stay well below average with those daytime highs in the 50s, 58 for downtown LA. Needless to say, we have flash flood watches and flood watches going into effect this morning. There's also a chance for thunderstorms. I'll tell you what all of that will mean and what you can expect the rest of the day, the rest of the week coming up in my complete forecast. In the meantime, let's check in on those roads. You saw those wet roads at LAX. Samada, you know the problems just double in terms of accidents.
Absolutely. And taking a live look at LAX right now, things seem to be flowing a little bit. A few lights going on out there, but yes, the rain continues to fall. If you can avoid traveling today, do so if you can. Work remotely. If you've got to travel far away from where you live, you want to make sure you add a lot of extra time on your ride. Taking a look at the latest accident, we've already had multiple reports of spinouts. This one, Jackknife Big Rig, has lane shut down southbound side of the 5 right there at the 605, so heads up if that's part of your route. You want to plan for that also. And a spin out through Long Beach, southbound side of the 405 at Cherry Avenue. Vehicle struck the center divider as it was losing control, and raindrops continue to fall. Here's a section of the 57, and the rain, it continues to come down. And as Maria pointed out, and we've got team coverage, it's only going to get tougher from here. Back to you, Tim.
All right, Samantha, thank you. Well, we continue our storm alert team coverage with Mario Ramirez, live for us in Pacific Palisades, where the threat of mudslides has led to evacuation warnings. Good morning.
Good morning, Melvin. That's right. Those evacuation warnings set to go into effect here in the Palisades in about an hour, and residents are being urged to be prepared to leave their homes at a moment's notice. And we're along Pacific Coast Highway here at Sunset Boulevard. It has not stopped raining since our first live shot at 4 o'clock this morning, and heavier than we felt yesterday, with more on the way. Now take a look at the scene overnight. Video here showing just up the road near PCH and Big Rock Drive, where a mudslide came down, covering the road there, despite Caltrans and County crews using concrete barriers and steel to try and shore up the hillsides there. It continues to be a trouble spot for mudslides just like this one. And as the preparations were underway for the bigger storm moving in today, LA fire officials announcing those evacuation warnings today at 7 o'clock this morning in the Palisades fire area, meaning there's the potential for mandatory orders to follow, and residents should be prepared. The warnings are impacting the Getty Villa area, Highlands near the burn areas, Reseda Boulevard, and Mandeville Canyon above Tanner's Road. LA County Public Works crews, we've seen them working for days, emptying debris basins, clearing storm drains, and distributing tens of thousands of sandbags to residents. The LA Fire Department, meanwhile, says it's currently on a Phase 2 alert for mudslide threats, warning some streets could become blocked, and depending on the location, some homes may be in danger. All right, so we've got more than 7,500 feet of K-rails and more than 6,500 sandbags that have been deployed in this burn area alone. The County Public Works Department says rainfall rates exceeding half an inch per hour can lead to mud and debris flows. Now, coming back out here live, a look at PCH, which remains closed here through this area this morning. Once those evacuation warnings here go into effect, they will be in place through Friday afternoon, and we are in that flash flood watch through this evening as it continues to pour here in the Palisades. Palisades. For now, I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, it's really about how fast the rain comes down. Thank you, Mario. Meantime, the Eaton fire destroyed homes, scorched the land a month ago, and now a relentless storm threatens to wash away what's left.
Gigi Graciette live for us in Altadena, where residents are bracing for impact. Good morning.
That's right, Mel and Jen. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We are in Altadena at the foothills, and this is primarily the area of concern. Loma Alta Drive. This is right against the hillside. You can see the K-rails are up. The heavy-duty equipment is already stationed here just in case any of that mud from the burnt-out hillside starts to come down. Any mud, debris, anything that starts flowing. Right now, just some light water is flowing. It's being diverted by those K-rails. The importance here is that the street not be blocked in case first responders need to get through. Now take a look. Storm preparations have been underway since last week for that first rain we had, but according to the experts, Maria Quiban, Samara Khan, and the National Weather Service, that rain we had does not compare with what we are going to see later today. Right now we've got a steady rain, but the brunt of the storm will arrive this afternoon, and that's why officials have been warning folks, those lucky enough to be able to return to their homes, but that live in the foothill areas of Altadena and Pasadena, anywhere really along the San Gabriel Mountains, to be careful and to prepare as best they can. And the folks that we spoke to, well, they took the warning seriously.
We already had one little tragedy with the fire situation, so it's good to see that the city is actually putting things together for us, prepare for the unexpected things that may possibly happen.
I'm hoping that it's not going to be the point where this is going to completely flood, because if that happens, then the disaster is going to double or triple.
Now, yesterday, L.A. County Sheriff Department deputies went door to door as much as they could, telling folks that an evacuation warning is now in effect. And, of course, a warning means that you should be ready to go at a moment's notice. Pack up anything that is important to you. Have those leashes and collars, any medication, your glasses, your cell phone charger, anything you may need ready to go, again, at a moment's notice. And officials say you don't have to wait for an evacuation order. Should you require extra time, if you have someone with special needs or maybe a lot of animals that would require extra effort, then maybe you should consider leaving before you need to. Reporting live, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
All right, Gigi, thank you. Meantime, the Sunset Fire burn scar near Runyon Canyon is also at risk from the powerful storm today. Flames tore through the hillside back in January, scorching thousands of acres, leaving the land bare and vulnerable. Residents east and south of Runyon Canyon must be ready to leave when they're told to do so.
It's unsettling, if you will. I get nervous. I watch the fire from my rooftop, and I'm just so glad that they were able to get it contained and taken care of. And my heart goes out to everybody with all of the fires all around here.
Torrential rain threatens to send mud and debris rushing into homes and streets, turning burned slopes into a disaster zone. Residents are urged to monitor alerts and, of course, be ready to evacuate immediately. We'll be saying it all morning long. Well, now to Orange County, where evacuation warnings for areas near the airport fire burn scar go into effect this morning at 8 o'clock.
That's right. There's concern that heavy rain could trigger mud and debris flows. Impacted areas include Trabuco Canyon, Hot Springs Canyon, Bell Canyon, Long Canyon, and Majeska Canyon. Officials urge residents to stay alert and prepare to leave if conditions do worsen.
The County of Orange has put out the evacuation warning, which is a perfect time for a community to assess their needs, and if they need to start evacuating now, possibly due to family members with special needs or large animals, whatever the case may be, this is the perfect time to start planning that exit.
Again, evacuation warnings go into effect this morning at 8 o'clock. We'll have a live report coming up later on in our show.
We were talking about this earlier, right? It's like people do have disaster fatigue and emergency fatigue.
Goodness.
We know, we get it. You had to evacuate your homes because of the fires, and now we're talking about evacuation warnings yet again. It is very frustrating. It's very frustrating, but these two events, Maria, you can attest to this, they go hand in hand, right?
Absolutely. When we get those major fires, all of those hillsides, which, by the way, we had overgrowth. We had 2 back-to-back years prior to this one where we had above average rainfall totals, and so we had a lot of growth. And now with all the fires, a lot of those hillsides are bare, and with the rainfall rates that were expected to strengthen later this afternoon, where's all that water going to go? The ground's just not going to be able to saturate it as quickly, so all that runoff is going to go, and it's going to trigger a lot of that debris to flow downhill. So you really want to stay alert. I know it's fatiguing, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there is an end to this as we get to the weekend. But in the meantime, look at all of this. The radar very active right now. All of this widespread rain, heavy at times. We're going to zoom in on some of the spots in Orange County, moderate rainfall. So yes, it's good to be prepared and be ready for those evacuation warnings and then eventually orders. Here are some of the heavier rain cells that we're picking up out towards the valley, Granada Hills, just north of Chatsworth. This is where we're seeing some of the more moderate or heavy rainfall. Out towards the mountains, we're seeing freezing rain leading up to the higher elevations, and then we're picking up some snow here. That elevation at about 8,000 feet right now. It went up because we're tapping into this subtropical moisture and that atmospheric river. Eventually, that snow level will lower to between 5,500 to 6,000 feet as we get to tomorrow. But yes, this is a significant storm system, the strongest of the season since really last year, going to bring us 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain for coast and valleys through tomorrow, 3 to 6 inches for the mountains and foothills. I'll go over the watches and warnings, show you the weekend in just a few moments. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. So coming up, Coca-Cola cans could soon disappear from store shelves. We're going to tell you why just ahead.
Plus, how would you like to eat at a restaurant inspired by your favorite TV show? Well, new restaurant, Netflix's new restaurant is opening up in Las Vegas. We'll tell you all about it in just a little bit. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Time to reveal today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilmore live in concert at the Toyota Arena in Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for a chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contest or link through the QR code on the screen. Good luck. Jen, Melvin.
All right, Samada, thank you. So a major department store is shutting down more locations. JCPenney says it's planning to close 8 stores across as many states, including right here in California. The company says the reasons for the closures are, quote, market changes and expiring lease agreements. The company filed for bankruptcy back in 2020 and announced plans to close more than 200 locations all across the country.
Now to this, Amazon helping customers find everything that they need, even if they can't find it on its website. The company says that it is testing out a new feature on its app that helps users find specific brands if they are not available on Amazon. Members with access to the beta test can search for products, and then the feature will provide relevant results with a link to the brand's websites. Amazon has yet to announce which brands and companies are participating in the feature.
Amazon's doing so well that they can afford to do that. So Coke cans could be harder to find as U.S. tariffs on aluminum may soon take effect. CEO James Quincy says the company may start producing more plastic bottles after President Trump announced a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum. Quincy says its alternative to cans will help to keep its products affordable. The White House says the tariff is meant to prevent unfair foreign trade practices and protect America's aluminum and steel industry. The tariff is set to take effect on March 12th.
Also this morning, Netflix is letting you binge your favorite TV shows in a whole new way. All right, so they are launching a restaurant in Las Vegas. Netflix Bites is opening at MGM Grand Hotel and Casino and features foods inspired by the company's most popular shows. The menu includes anything from Bridgerton tea to fried chicken and dipping sauces inspired by Squid Game. The new restaurant now open for walk-ins and will begin taking reservations on February 20th.
Speaking of Vegas, did you know that pre-sale tickets are about to go up for the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere? Oh, guess who's going?
At the Sphere?
What?
At the Sphere. Wow, you're going?
I'm taking my girls.
OMG. If it was in sync, I'd be down for this.
I know. I was thinking about it. If we were in sync, you'd be coming with us.
But Marie, you've been to the Sphere.
Yeah, I have been. And have you been, Jen?
There are no bad seats, right?
I haven't been.
No bad seats. It is amazing because it's not just going to see the band, but it's everything else going on.
You saw U2.
I saw U2.
Right.
It was the inaugural concert. It was I can't wait to go back, so you're going to have a great time. For sure. Maybe Mel, and we can crash the party.
Yes. The more the merrier, for sure.
The more the merrier. Hey, it is not the more the merrier on the roads today. If you can work from home, if you can work remotely, really advising you to do so and stay off the roads because a lot of flooding concerns will be there on everyone's minds. This weather report brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. We're definitely seeing more widespread rain this morning, but believe it or not, the more potent part of the storm is still actually offshore. The rain continues north into central California and up the coast into northern California. A lot of snow falling for the Sierra Nevada. So this is good. We get a lot of our water from, of course, up north. The strongest storm of the season is here. The heaviest rain, if you really want to, if you have to be out there, get out there early because the peak and the heaviest of the rain is expected to fall between 2 p.m. this afternoon to about 9-10 p.m. tonight. It is getting stronger out there this morning, most definitely, but the really strongest part will be this afternoon into this evening. Flooding, mud debris flow, swift water rescues will be on the rise today because of all of this rain. High surf. Big problem along the coast, and that will cause some low-lying areas there near the coast with some flooding. 1 to 2 feet of snow possible between 7,000 to 8,000 feet. But in our local resorts, they'll be happy about that. Temperatures will stay below average. 58 is what we're expecting today for downtown. That's below that average of 68. The sun expected to rise here in about, let's see, about 20, 25 minutes or so. Here is our Futurecast, what you can expect, just really quickly checking out. See the heavier rain this afternoon, see the brighter colors of yellows, particularly impacting that area near that Eaton fire. The mountains will get some heavier rain as well later tonight, and then it'll start to taper off as we get to late tomorrow into Saturday. Just a quick peek at our 7-day forecast. There's the light at the end of the tunnel. We've got drier conditions this weekend, and I know we've got a holiday coming up, President's Day on Monday. It does look much drier with more sunshine. Otherwise, plan for maybe extra snuggles with your sweetheart tomorrow for Valentine's Day, because it's becoming cold and damp. Samada's out there now in the studio looking at the traffic conditions. Hey, Samada.
Lots going on. Good morning. Yes, good morning, Marie. Good morning, everyone. We have lots of rain falling across Southern California, as Maria pointed out. We continue to track the issues out there. The impacts, they are plenty. We've got multiple reports of spinouts and vehicles hydroplaning and accidents. And the latest one, unfortunately, just turned into a Sigler. Jackknife big rig blocking the transition road from southbound side of the 5 at the 605. That will be in place for at least an hour, and that's going to be a difficult drive for you. And you're going to add a lot more time on your commute. Northbound side of the 405 at Burbank Boulevard, solo vehicle spin out there is taking away the carpool lane, and that vehicle is facing the wrong direction. And live Caltrans camera look at the 5 at Lakewood Boulevard. The rain, it continues to come down. Light, moderate, and heavy at times. Be extra cautious out there. Back to you two.
All right, Samara, thank you. Yes, be extra cautious this morning, because it was a rough drive in for me.
It was, right?
This morning.
Yeah.
All right, well, coming up, a 9-year-old chemist from Florida is capturing hearts online. We're going to tell you his great story and his love for science experiments.
I love that.
Yeah.
Plus, we are peeling back the layers of this one. A man and his banana car spotted in Florida. Why? Where? We're going to have all that coming up. now for some good news this morning. A 5th grader in South Florida is capturing national attention. This is all thanks to his passion for science.
That's right. His name is Denzel Irving III, but his online fans know him as Professor D3. Okay, so this 9-year-old loves diving into books and conducting experiments. Denzel decided to share what he learned on social media. He makes videos of his experiments, and then he talks about elements on the periodic table, which he started studying at just 4 years old. I love this.
He's like a little Bill Nye.
Oh, yeah, social media users ate this up, as you can imagine. He now has a following of more than 12,000 people.
Wow.
Do you know why this is not popping? This is because the water in the balloon is absorbing all the heat so latex doesn't get hot and the balloon doesn't pop. As I was getting all this knowledge, I thought to myself, why not share with others so they can know more about science also?
The lab coat.
Denzel says that he is working on his math skills. Yes, look at that lab coat, which he says he struggles with. I love him, and so he continues to work on his YouTube channel with his mom.
You know what's so cool about that is you're hearing this info from somebody your age, right?
Yeah.
And these kids are watching and they're getting like a lesson from somebody who can explain it to them in their terms.
That's right.
I love that.
I love it so much, and I also love that his mom is encouraging him.
Yes.
That's right. We love Black Boy Joy on full display. We love it. All right, Samana, what you got?
Oh, love that, and you're going to definitely love this. Don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilmore live in concert at the Toyota Arena in Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for a chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contest or link through the QR code on the screen. Good luck. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yes, it is. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Good Day LA at 6:30 on this Thursday. I'm Jen Lammers.
I'm Melvin Robert. It's great to be with all of you. The National Weather Service issues a high-risk alert for flooding as this massive storm moves into our area. It's especially dangerous for burn-scarred debris flows in areas recently affected by those wildfires. And this morning, we have live team coverage for you.
Yes, we do. Mario Ramirez is in the Pacific Palisades, where evacuation warnings are taking effect this morning. We have Gigi Graciette joining us from Altadena, where there are concerns over flooding, mudslides, and debris flows. But let's begin with Maria, because she is tracking the storm for us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And so far, it has been on track with this big, significant storm system. We had some light to moderate occasionally yesterday showers. That was wave 1. Now we're on to wave 2, and it's definitely here. We're looking at more widespread rain here over most of LA County, Orange County, and the Inland Empire. The last frame shows just a little bit of a break here through parts of Ventura County and then the western edge of LA County, but there's definitely more rain moving into the Inland Empire. Maybe not raining where you are through parts of Riverside County and the Coachella Valley, but the rain is headed your way as well. We have a lot of weather alerts going into effect, if not already in effect, with the flood advisory for portions of LA here. But we have high wind warnings for the mountains and deserts for very strong gusty winds, occasionally 50 to 60 miles an hour. Wind advisories elsewhere here near the foothills. Flood advisory and flash flood watches going into effect because of the intense rain getting heavier as we get to the afternoon. This is the timeline as we get to 2 p.m. Notice the brighter colored areas. This is where we're expecting some of the heavier cells. There's even a 20 to 30% chance for thunderstorms later this afternoon as well. So we have that to contend with. 55 in Burbank at that hour, 2 p.m. 60 in Boyle Heights, to the 50s, mostly in Riverside, 59, 57 San Bernardino, 36 in Big Bear Lake. Now let's check back in on the traffic conditions before you walk out that door. Samada's got a look at our freeways and our traffic. Hey, Samada.
Good morning, Mary. Good morning, everyone. It continues to get pretty bad out there. We've already had multiple reports of solo vehicle spinouts and hydroplaning and accidents, and the list goes on. And we're going to bring your attention to the latest unfortunate spin out westbound side of the 118 at Collins Drive. That vehicle is facing the wrong direction, struck the center divider area, and look at the backup there. And we're also going to bring your attention all the way now out towards the IE. We're talking about Corona, eastbound 91 at the 15. Two vehicles collided, taking away the fast lane as you approach the 15 freeway. And this one has been ongoing. Sigler's still in effect. This is going to be for the southbound side of the 5 at the 605. A jackknife big rig. It has that transition lane closed down for at least another hour. Here's a live Caltrans look at both directions of the freeway there, and it is slow and go in the northbound stretch, and the 5 nice and steady there at this hour. But the rain, it continues to fall, and unfortunately, things are going to get a little more difficult as the afternoon goes on. Back to you, two.
Tough on those roads. Do take your time this morning. In the meantime, let's get right to our storm alert team coverage.
Yeah, Mario Ramirez live for us in Pacific Palisades, where evacuation warnings will soon go into effect for parts of the recent burn area. Hey there, Mario. Good morning to you.
Melvin, Jay, good morning. We've now been in about 3 hours of consistent nonstop rain here in the Palisades, where, as you mentioned, those evacuation warnings are set to go into effect. You can see here behind me along Sunset near Pacific Coast Highway, LAPD officers are on scene. We've also seen National Guard continue to be stationed throughout this neighborhood where there's a concern for flooding, mudslides, and debris flows. Take a look at the video here. Another mudslide last night on PCH near Big Rock, where mud and large rocks came down onto the road, which is why a long stretch of PCH remains closed from Chautauqua Boulevard to Carbon Beach Terrace in Malibu, and it's still not clear exactly when it'll reopen. Meanwhile, LA County crews have been working around the clock installing those concrete K-rails and distributing sandbags in burn areas, and working to make sure over 150 debris basins are cleared to prevent more flooding. Those warnings going into effect here at 7 o'clock in the Palisades fire burn zone, impacting the Getty Villa area, Highlands near the burn scar, Reseda and Marinette Road near Will Rogers State Park, and parts of Mandeville Canyon. Fire officials say that warning means you should pack an emergency kit, secure important documents, and have a plan in place for family and pets. All eyes right now closely on the rain, how much of it and how fast it comes down in these areas.
It's the rate and the duration. If it comes down slow and steady, Mother Earth is a sponge. She'll soak it up. If it comes down heavy in a short time frame is where we tend to see problems. And our concerns are target hazards underneath a steep hillside that was recently burned, meaning are there homes with people inside? And that's why we will enact evacuations potentially.
And that flash flood watch issued by the National Weather Service through this evening means that flooding and debris flows caused by the rain are possible. Fire officials say some homes considered to be at higher risk of mudslides will be subject to those mandatory orders this morning, but those residents will be contacted directly. Now, coming back out here live, a look at this shot near PCH. The rain, much heavier than it was yesterday, and the heaviest bursts are yet to hit us. Now, if you are evacuated, remember you could be out of your home for days, and sheriff's officials, county officials are saying that they will be in place, those warnings, through tomorrow afternoon. For now, live at Pacific Palisades, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. Well, all Malibu campuses in the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District will be closed today due to road closures and weather concerns. District officials said the closure may extend into Friday, depending on what the weather conditions look like. However, all Santa Monica campuses will remain open. Meantime, the rain, as we know, is falling, and for families whose homes did survive the wildfires, the nightmare, unfortunately, isn't over.
Yeah, I mean, the rains have come in, and then in those burn scar areas where all that vegetation has been wiped out by the fires, we're talking mudslide potential really everywhere in those burn scars. Gigi Graciette live in Altadena now with what's happening over there. Good morning.
And you know, Mel and Jen, we often joke about fire season being followed by flood season, but it is a reality and a very scary one for folks who live in burn scar areas like right here in Altadena, the Eaton Fire burn scar. We're on Loma Alta Drive, and you can see the K-rails are up. The heavy equipment is already in place should it need to be mobilized, and the water flow from the hillside and just Loma Alta is already being diverted. Of course, the concern is the heavier rain and the continuous rain that we're already seeing. And then again, that heavy rain expected this afternoon will bring down some of the mud and debris flow. Not a lot of vegetation to hold it up after the Eaton fire. And take a look. Storm preparations have been underway for over a week, but they took a turn to extremely serious when the National Weather Service warned we could see more than 30 hours of continuous rain, and that could bring mud and debris flow in the many burn scar areas that we have throughout Southern California. Anyone from city and county officials to the fire department, they're warning folks who live in the area. Here in Eaton Fire area, it'd be along the hillside, along the San Gabriel Mountains, to be prepared.
We will be monitoring for the next 48 hours, so we hope to give time for people to get ready with a warning and then a mandatory evacuation, but we need the public to be ready to go.
And that warning came out yesterday. That's right. There is an evacuation warning in effect for the Eaton Fire burn scar area. Deputies with the LA County Sheriff's Department going door to door, telling people to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. That's what a warning is all about. Hopefully giving you enough time to prepare, to pack any valuables, any priceless things that you want to take with you, your medication, your charger, your pets have their leashes and collars and carriers all ready to go at a moment's notice. And again, and we've been repeating this morning, but officials stress you don't have to wait for an evacuation order to leave. If you require extra time, if you have special needs or a lot of pets that would require extra effort to be evacuated, then you might want to consider leaving sooner than later. Reporting live this morning, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
All right, Gigi, thank you. So the LA Fire Department has announced evacuation warnings that will take effect at 7 a.m. for the following burn areas, okay? The Sunset Fire area in the Hollywood Hills, that is going to be east and south of Runyon Canyon, and the Hearst Fire area near Silmar at Olive Lane in the Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park. So lots of warnings and watches this morning as that rain moves through, and it's an atmospheric river event, Maria, which for those of us who don't know what that is, can you explain?
Absolutely. That's all of that moisture from the Pacific all the way down here, closer to the Hawaiian Islands. But it's really a river up in the upper levels of atmosphere that's just pushing. It's like a hose of moisture and water vapor aimed right at Southern California now. For the most part, big part of the season, it was aimed up into the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. Well, now that atmospheric river is sagging a little bit farther south, and we are now getting the brunt of the heavier rain. In fact, here's our future rain forecast totals here. This is as of later this evening at 6 p.m. We're getting close to over an inch of rain, perhaps, for downtown LA area. Pasadena, almost 2 inches between now and this evening. So that's why we're saying that the heaviest of the rain is still to come this afternoon and this evening. Rain totals as we get into tomorrow morning, quite impressive and very significant. Over 2 inches in Burbank, over 2 inches in Simi Valley, more up into Ventura County and Ojai, over 3 inches, almost 4 inches here, it looks like, at least the forecast models are pointing to San Bernardino at 3.67 inches. So more rain to come. Stay in if you can. I know Samara will tell you that. Maybe stay off the roads because it's a problem out there on our roadways, traffic-wise. Right, Samara?
Big problem. And already so many reports of vehicles spinning out and hydroplaning. The rain continues to keep falling. And traffic, again, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. You can take a look at our real-time traffic, and it is slow and go just about everywhere. I want to bring your attention to a brand new collision. This also applies to South Orange County, San Clemente, southbound side of the 5 at Avenida Pico. Vehicle collision there is taking away a lane of traffic due to, again, possibly the rain that's falling in that area. Spin out to northbound 57 at Catella Avenue. The vehicle struck the center divider area, is now off to the right shoulder, but the delays continue to add up, especially across the South 5, the 605 transition road. Jackknife Big Rig, that signal alert still in effect. So just a heads up to give yourself extra time and avoid, yes, the roadways if you can. Here's a live Caltrans camera, 5 northbound side of the 5, southbound side of the 5 at Lakewood Boulevard. The southbound looking pretty good and steady. Meanwhile, things are definitely loading up on the northbound section as you head towards Commerce. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've battled against insurance company giants, and we've won a lot. Injured? We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. There's only one, Morgan & Morgan.
All right, 6:45 starts your engines. The 2025 NASCAR season is here, and the Cup Series begins with the Daytona 500.
That's right. This could be one of the most thrilling races of the season with so much on the line. And to tell us all about it is Fox Sports broadcaster Jamie Little. Good morning to you. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Yes, it is Daytona week. It's so exciting. It's funny because NASCAR kicks off the season with their Super Bowl, unlike any other sport.
That's right.
A lot of storylines, a lot of drive-ins.
Yeah, certainly. So you kind of touched on this earlier. So how does the Daytona 500 set the tone, as we would say, for the rest of the NASCAR season?
It really does. Everybody's got the nerves. There's new sponsors. There's fresh fire suits with all the new logos, a lot of different teams. We have a lot of drivers in different places this year. So it really does set the tone, although it is a drafting style race. So you can't really base results from here for the rest of the season. So it sets the pace, though, to get that momentum for the year. But it's all about the Daytona 500. To win that trophy, that coveted trophy, is a huge deal. Some say it's bigger than winning a championship, and others just say your resume has to include a Daytona 500 win. That's how big this is ours. So we kick it off here, and the storylines are aplenty.
And speaking of storylines, who are the favorites to win? And then who could come up and surprise us? Who are some of those underdogs?
That's the fun thing about Daytona. It's pack racing. It's draft racing. They run in a pack. It's all about timing everything. And those who do it best will win. And there are some of our former champions who've never won this. You just saw Martin Truex Jr., the 19 car is where he used to be. Now he's in a different ride this year. He's never won it. Kyle Larson is a superstar in this sport. He's won everything, but he's never won the Daytona 500. Chase Elliott, the most popular driver. I think Chase has a great chance. Although we had qualifying last night and those Hendrick cars weren't as strong as they usually are. But instead, right there, the new driver of the 19, Chase Briscoe, is on the pole. So, you know, Toyota races well. If you qualify poorly, that doesn't really mean anything. But I think, you know, it's wide open right now. But what a story it'd be for this young man right here out of Indiana if he could pull it off.
A lot of names Chase in the in this race, which is so appropriate because you mentioned they're drafting off each other. So there are a couple of drivers like Kyle Busch, for example, looking to win their first ever Daytona 500. What kind of mindset do they have to have in order to win?
Yes. I mean, they put so much pressure on themselves. Kyle Busch is another one of those former champions. This is the only trophy that is missing in his trophy case. He literally has a trophy case with like hundreds of trophies, but he has this one spot open for the Daytona 500 that has never been filled. So that mindset is go out there, and it's all about timing. Like I said, you could lead the race, but it comes down to the final lap, and you have to have yourself in position. Most drivers will tell you you don't want to be leading on that last lap until the last corner. So you got to have that mindset. You go for broke. You're willing to either, some say, bring back a steering wheel, meaning you wrecked, or you bring back the trophy. So you put everything on the line for this win. And some other storylines, you guys. We have a 4-time Indianapolis 500 champion, Elio Castroneves, trying to make his way into the field. Of course, he has a provisional waiver that NASCAR allowed in case he doesn't race his way into tonight, but he's got a lot of attention around him, and how cool that would be to see him race on Sunday.
The arena is so loud and it's so exciting. Jamie Little with Fox Sports, thank you so much for your insights. And you can watch the Daytona 500 right here on Fox 11 on Sunday at 11:30 in the morning. Thank you.
Okay, we want to hook you up this morning, and we don't want you to forget about it because Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Ontario venue, which is the Toyota Arena, Ontario, on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for a chance to win on our website, foxla.com/contest, or scan that QR code right there on the screen. Come on, it's Valentine's Day. You can surprise somebody being a winner.
That's right. Brantley Gilbert Brantley Gilbert has the most country name I've ever, right?
That's right.
Has the most country name I've ever heard. Thank you, Amanda. That's quite a good hookup.
We love you.
Oh, we are not getting hooked up by Mother Nature this morning on this rain.
No, we're not.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, so the rain, which is now getting a little bit heavier this morning, certainly heavier than yesterday. We're going to see the showers continue tomorrow, at least for the first part of Valentine's Day. So just get ready for that. And maybe some areas, depending on where you are tomorrow afternoon and evening, could still get some light leftover showers. In the meantime, today, we're tapping into this atmospheric river, all that moisture coming up from the southwest. The more potent part of the storm still offshore with that cold front. That is going to move in this afternoon. The timing will be such the peak of the rainfall should be around afternoon, after lunch hour, between 2 p.m. and 9 to 10 p.m. this evening. Anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain expected for the coast and valleys. This is a very strong storm with up to 3 to 6 inches possible for the mountains and foothills. And we do have that thunderstorm chance. Those rain rates are what we're really concerned with, because when we get a rain rate that is more than 1/2 inch per hour to 1.5 inches even, according to the models, that is going to pose a lot of problems with those recently burned hillsides that can cause and trigger those mud and debris flows, rock slides, and also those mudslides and landslides. But big problems potentially through the next 24 to 36 hours. Much drier, better conditions as we look ahead to this holiday weekend. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. So coming up at 7, we are speaking with TMZ's Harvey Levin with more on their new Tubi documentary titled Saving Wendy. Fascinating. We'll have more on that when we come back. All right, still ahead, Mayor Karen Bass is speaking today on today's major storm.
That's right, and we will bring that to you live when it starts at 8:30. Meantime, we'll take a short break. See you in a bit. Fox 11 Los Angeles now on the Fox Local app, available through Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Google Android TV. Fox Local is your free connected TV app where you can stream all of your favorite Fox 11 newscasts. And of course, Good Day LA. So you go to Fox Local when you're searching for the app, not Fox LA, Fox Local. Then once you get in there, you search for Fox LA. You're
Mr.
welcome.
Roberts coming out.
We'll be back. Well, and the email we got from here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. Great to be with all of you. I am Melvin Robert.
And I'm Jen Lammers. Yes, 7 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Let's take a look at some of your headlines, starting with this powerful storm making its way across Southern California this morning, making a mess, frankly, and we haven't seen the worst of it yet.
In Pacific Palisades, evacuation warnings are now in place with concerns of mud and debris flows near the burn scar. We're live with the impacted areas just ahead.
And happy Valentine's Day. The wait is almost over for fans of Love is Blind, with season 8 fast approaching. And I sat down with the two lovebirds who host the show to find out, is love truly blind? But first, we can see that there's a lot to talk about with the weather, right, Maria?
Everyone talked about the rain. Definitely. Yesterday, we had light to moderate rainfall. We talked about how it was going to be much stronger today, and indeed, it is materializing with some stronger showers that we saw. And the rain rain earlier this morning. We're going to look for even heavier conditions or heavier rain as we get into the afternoon and evening. Right now, we're picking up some of the heavier stuff over the mountains and foothills out towards the Inland Empire. Please stay alert, especially if you live in and around those recently burned hillsides. You want to be able to evacuate when they say you need to, or better yet, as Gigi's been mentioning, maybe go now and go before you're told to do so, because we are anticipating some stronger impacts from this big area of low pressure. We're tapping into that atmospheric river, so a lot of moisture, a lot of water vapor getting pulled into and over Southern California today. Temperatures are going to stay cooler. It's right now in the low 50s mostly. It's not going to really warm up too much, maybe getting into the mid-upper 50s by this afternoon. And by this afternoon, we are expecting the heavier rain to move in. There's even a chance for some thunderstorms. We do have a lot of advisories, in effect, including flash flood watches for the potential for flash flooding due to the heavy rainfall and those heavy downpours we could be looking at later today into tonight. 59 along the coast, 58 for downtown LA, 30s up into the mountains with high elevation snow. After this is said and done, we could be talking about feet of snow up above 8,000 feet. 61 in the high desert in Lancaster to that 64 in Palm Springs. We'll talk about the clearing and the sunshine coming back in the forecast eventually this weekend when I come back. In the meantime, let's check in on the drive. We've got traffic conditions that have been a problem because of the rain.
Major problems. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, everyone. The roadways slick and soggy, and it is creating so many impacts. We've had multiple reports of spinouts and accidents, and the latest incident I want to bring your attention to, this accident that was a result of an earlier spinout eastbound side of 91 Imperial Highway. You can see both directions being impacted. Hopefully they'll clear that out pretty soon. And this accident, collision eastbound side of the 210 and Mountain Street. One vehicle actually went down the embankment. The tow trucks are on scene with some cables. In the meantime, we've got the signal in effect for most lanes. Only one lane, I believe, is opened at this hour, and the backup continues. Here's a live Caltrans camera, southbound side, northbound side of the 5 at Lakewood Boulevard. Nice and steady. A little difficult going northbound as you're approaching the Commerce area, but another caution, please drive carefully and give yourself a lot of extra time. Send back over to you, too.
All right, Simone, thank you very much. Well, let's get right into our Storm Alert team coverage, everybody. Mario Ramirez leading us off in Pacific Palisades.
Yeah, that's where evacuation warnings have taken effect in parts of the recent burn area. Mario, it's just coming down pretty steady where you are.
You know, it is still coming down a little lighter than it was even 30 minutes ago. But as Sumata and Maria will tell you, this bulk of it, the heaviest downpour, has yet to hit the area. And this area is still recovering from the devastating wildfire last month. That's why all these bulldozers and heavy equipment are lined up here along a wet Pacific Coast highway. We had a few hours of some pretty significant downpours, and there is more on the way. We want to show you video of up the road, the scene overnight on PCH near Big Rock Drive, where a mudslide came down covering the road there. Despite Caltrans and county crews that have been using concrete barriers and steel to try and shore up the hillsides there, it is still a trouble spot for mudslides just like this one. And as preparations were underway for this bigger storm moving in today, evacuation warnings now in effect this morning in the Palisades fire area, and that means there's the potential for mandatory orders to follow, and residents should be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. The warnings are impacting the Getty Villa area, Highlands near the burn area, Reseda Boulevard, and Mandeville Canyon above Tanner's Road. LA County Public Works crews, they've been working around the clock, emptying debris basins, clearing storm drains, and distributing tens of thousands of sandbags to residents. The LA Fire Department says it's currently on a phase 2 alert for mudslide threats, warning some streets could become blocked, and depending on the location and terrain, some homes may be in danger.
Is a significant potential for mudslides. So we're not at that area yet. What that means to the public is we want you to be aware of the concern if you live in an area that was recently burned, and most people are well aware that when the rain comes, there's potential for mudslides.
The County Public Works Department said rainfall rates exceeding ½ an inch per hour can lead to mud and debris flows. Meanwhile, search and rescue teams, deputies, and helicopter crews are on standby to respond to the storm in these burn areas. Coming back out here live, you can see the thick cloud cover over the Palisades this morning. Once those evacuation warnings are in place, which they just took effect a few minutes ago, they will be in place through tomorrow afternoon. You can see LAPD on standby here, and we are in that flash flood watch through this evening. That's the latest here in the Palisades. I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
Mario, thank you. Also this morning, all Malibu campuses in the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District closed today due to road closures and weather concerns. District officials said the closure may extend into Friday depending on our weather conditions. However, all Santa Monica campuses will remain open.
Well, the worst the storm hits, of course, this afternoon, and the flood risk peaks tonight.
That's right. Rainfall could overwhelm streets, homes, even our hillsides. Gigi Graciette live for us in Altadena as emergency teams race to prepare. Good morning to you.
Mel and Jen, good morning. Good morning, everyone. The rain has been steady here, hard at times, a lighter drizzle at other times, but it has not stopped. We are live on Loma Alta Drive, and you can see what's left, sadly, there of someone's home. That home has been burned out. And you see the preparations that have already taken place here against the foothills, because this is really where the concern starts. You see the K-rails, you see cones, you see erosion control logs. That's that green thing that you see there on what once was the front lawn. Now, this house was right up against the hillside, and the concern is they could see mud and debris flow. And, of course, in the debris there could still be hazardous material. Experts warn that in the ash there could be lead, there could be asbestos, and they don't want that runoff. And above that hill, there are two homes that are, thankfully, standing. So there is concern, again, because the rain is going to be constant. Now, take a look. Preparations in the Eaton Fire area along the San Gabriel foothills has been going on for about a week. It took a turn for the urgent, though, when the National Weather Service warned we could see 30 hours plus of continuous heavy rain, and that brings the danger with it. Now, a lot of folks who they were lucky enough to be able to return home here in Altadena and in neighboring Pasadena, they've been telling us they are taking the warnings very seriously.
We already had one little tragedy with the fire situation, so it's good to see that the city is actually, putting things together for us, prepare for the unexpected things that may possibly happen.
I'm hoping that it's not going to be the point where this is going to completely flood, because if that happens, then the disaster is going to be, it's going to double or triple.
An evacuation warning went into effect for the Eaton Fire burn scar area, with deputies from the Sheriff's Department going door to door where they could to tell people the warning was in effect. And, of course, a warning means you should be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. Pack up those valuables, those priceless things that can't be replaced, including also your medication, any phone chargers, your dog and cat carriers, leashes, collars, etc. And just please be ready. Reporting live in Altadena this morning, I'm Gigi Graciette. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, now's the time to do all of those preparations. Thank you, Gigi, for that reminder. And for updates on this developing storm, you can download the Fox Weather app from your app store for free. You can watch the radar on your streets in real time.
Still ahead this morning, a heads up about a text message scam that's claiming you need to pay a bill. We'll tell you what to watch out for in just a bit.
And all across the nation, we're seeing one of the worst flu seasons in decades. Coming up, we'll have a closer look at the stunning surge in cases here in California.
And don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant L. Enter for a chance to win on our website, foxla.com/contest, or link through the QR code right there on your screen. We'll see you in a bit.
7 years. All right, welcome back. 7:13 as we take a live look outside Ontario International Airport. It's gray, it's rainy, and it can be dangerous in some spots depending on where you are. So
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I drive in this morning from the valley on the freeway was
the ponding, right?
And the nonstop rain.
Yeah.
And then the mistiness on the road. Oh man, it was. I was saying some prayers.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Staying in the middle lanes is something that I have gotten used to now with this rain. Okay, so other headlines this morning. The Senate is expected to vote today on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination as Health and Human Services Secretary. So his appointment has sparked some controversy because of his anti-vaccine views. Despite this, confirmation is anticipated. If approved, Kennedy will oversee agencies like the FDA and the CDC.
A lot of people say that they are still getting these text messages claiming that they have overdue toll payments. Likely, this is a scam. So according to the Federal Trade Commission, the fraudsters are posing as workers from Easy Pass and other tolling agencies. The FTC says that the scammers are sending a message warning of late fees and are urging users to click an unverified link to pay their bill. The agency is reminding the public that if the link is clicked, scammers can get access to personal information and potentially steal your identity.
Okay, so flu cases are on the rise across the nation, across California, and right here, especially in L.A. County.
Yeah, Sandra joins us now with the latest numbers and possible reason behind this spike. Hey there, Sandra. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Yes, in L.A. County, the flu season appears to be the most severe in the post-pandemic era. So part of the problem appears to be the flu vaccination rates. They're falling. So here are the latest numbers compiled by the CDC and the California Department of Public Health. As of late January, less than 48% of children in California are vaccinated against the flu. Last year at this time, more than half were vaccinated. So this year's rate is the lowest since the 2019 and 2020 flu season. And last night we spoke with our medical contributor, Dr. Michael Daynault, and he highly recommends everyone who is eligible to get a flu shot.
People still think that you can get the flu from the flu vaccine. And just to remind people, the flu vaccine is dead, inactivated virus. You can't get the flu from this vaccine. So, you know, that being said, it's still worth to get, because even if you have that 30% protection against severe illness and hospitalization, and the strains can change over time. We're in the throes of flu A. Usually later in the spring, it switches over to flu B. So it's still worth to get, even if you have got, especially for your kids.
Dr. Daynault also says a less effective vaccine match for the current strain is driving the higher flu rates as well. And statewide, nearly 28% of flu tests have returned positive in the first week of February, while COVID cases and RSV cases are in the low single-digit positivity rate. So typically, the flu vaccine is 40% effective against severe illness and hospitalization. This year, though, it's down to about 35%. So the CDC does recommend everyone 6 months or older to get a flu shot, especially since this year, this could be a particularly long flu season. Some doctors saying it may last until April.
Mom, have your kids been able to stay away from this?
You know, they've gotten everything from the norovirus to severe cold. I think they've dodged the flu so far, but I've certainly got hit by it. So it's going around, and yeah, it's chasing us, right?
It is chasing us, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
It got me. You guys
It did. You got walloped, Maria.
I got walloped with 104 to 105 fever with that flu A.
Oh, my gosh.
I did get the vaccine, and the doctor told me, you know, I've been getting the flu shot every year pretty much.
Yeah.
I was able to dodge it the last 3 years. This year, I was not. So.
Well, they try to match the flu vaccine with whatever strain they anticipate, but this year it didn't happen.
That's exactly what he said.
Yep.
They just didn't get it quite right this year.
Yeah.
It was just a different kind of virus. But I think if you get the vaccine, that's what he told me, you still will suffer at least less effects if you had not. So
it still helps.
Still a good idea. Still helpful to get it. Oh, let's take a look at this. This is fun. This is a live look at Mammoth right now. I'm sorry, did you say Mammoth or Big Bear? Which? Oh, okay, this is taped. But this is what's happening now, because I just looked at another camera, and we are looking at some wet snow up there. 2 to 3 feet possible in Mammoth. with this next storm system. For us, maybe 1 to 2 feet for our local resorts. Look at all the moisture and this big area of low pressure. This is a significant storm system, the strongest of the season, the strongest we've seen since last year. And we are tapping into that atmospheric river, all that water vapor coming up from the subtropics. This is part of the reason why our snow level is going back up, or has gone back up to about 8,000 feet this morning. It's just a warmer, or at least more subtropical as we get into here. As we get the main potent part of this storm system bringing in more cold air, that snow level will drop back down to about 5,500 to 6,000 feet. So Snow Valley, you could get more snow. Right now, it's really up at the higher elevations, 8,000 feet above. So Big Bear looking at some of that snow. Looking at Wrightwood, getting some snow as well. Freezing rain heading up there as we take a look at our radar and kind of zoom in on some of the areas we're concerned with. This is that area near that Eaton Fire. We're getting that moderate rainfall here, as you can see, Arcadia, Duarte. As we get over to San Bernardino, we've got a stronger cell here. If you're planning to drive up Crestline right now, we've got some downpours here right now and parts of the 15. And as we take a look at our weather alerts, high wind warnings for the mountains and deserts, wind advisories elsewhere. So as we expect the afternoon to come with some heavier cells, we could see some thunderstorms that will trigger some of those mud and debris flows that we've been talking about. So flood advisories and flood watches also in effect. We're going to see it all later today for sure. That peak time period between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. tonight will be the heaviest of the rain coming in. In the meantime, at 2 o'clock here, 55 in Burbank. Notice some of the yellows. The radar's picking that up. Those are the heavier cells that I was talking about. 60 in Palm Springs, 45. That's it in Las Vegas. Here's your day planner for Riverside. Yes, showers there now. Temperatures in the 50s. It's really not going to get much warmer than that, so you'll need the jacket as well as the umbrella if you have to be out and about today. We've got rain all through the day, through tonight, and even some lingering showers tomorrow morning. Anaheim, same thing out there. We've got rain all day through this evening. I'll show you the 70 forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thank you.
Still ahead, one day to Valentine's Day, everybody. How much you can expect to pay if you want to show your love with roses.
And a chilling look at Wendy Williams' guardianship. We're going to talk to TMZ's Harvey Levin. He has a new documentary out. Why she feels like she is a prisoner. We'll have that when we come back.
something, Jen. What's wrong with you? Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. 7:24. So, with Valentine's Day just one day away, it is no surprise that the price for roses is sky high. A report from Finance Buzz shows the national average price for a dozen long-stem roses is $90.50 this year. That's a 2% jump from last year. Hawaii has the most expensive roses.
Wow.
A dozen roses for a whopping, wow, $143 in the Aloha State.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. California has the cheapest roses at about $68 for a dozen.
OMG.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's going to cost you a lot more if you forget.
This is right.
Don't get her anything.
That part.
If you don't want to be
Or
sleeping
him.
on the couch.
Or him. Yeah.
Or him. That's right. It's going to cost you a lot more.
You know, I think this is something that we can all agree on.
Yeah.
Babies, puppies, kittens are cute.
Cute. So cute.
But have you ever just wanted to squish them? Not hurt them, okay?
Like, you're so cute. Like, that's what you mean?
Like, oh, my gosh.
I want to do that with little Sully.
Yes.
Little Sully boy.
Her chocolate chip feet, I just want to...
You know, some would say they're scrumptious.
Yeah.
Scrumptious.
Scrumptious. We were talking about my grandma Shirley. That was like one of her favorite words.
Word of the day.
Scrumptious.
It's an underrated word.
It is.
And not used
It is an underrated word.
Well, it turns out, okay, there is a word for that feeling, that where you just want to, like, squeeze them so hard. Cuteness aggression.
Yeah.
What?
Cuteness aggression.
Yeah.
It's something that this mom knows all too well.
I am clenching my teeth so many times because every single move he makes, I'm like, I want to bite you, not actually bite you and hurt you, but like bite you because you're so cute. And I don't know what to do with all of this apparent aggression up in me, but it takes an immense amount of self-control to not let it ooze out into this tiny perfect baby. And I mean this in the best way possible because I will never, ever hurt this angel of a human, ever. But there is so much...
As food?
Okay, take it from me.
I was like, what? Oh, yeah.
Yep. And he likes it too. He wanted me last night to pretend like his feet were mac and cheese.
He wanted what?
We get weird sometimes. I'm just telling you.
Keep it weird.
You have to bite your baby's foot. You have to.
Or even a mom?
Yeah, right, exactly. So a study in behavioral science, frontiers in behavioral science, finds that half of all adults have had these same thoughts. Okay, so we're not alone. The study's author says people who have cute aggression are also people who likely can cry at weddings. They cry at weddings, okay? They cry when a baby's born, or they have nervous laughter. Maybe they just feel more. I don't know.
Do you cry at wedding? Did you cry at my wedding?
Of course I did. You know what moment I really cried was when your grandmother walked down.
Oh, that was so sweet.
She was crying too. Yeah.
She couldn't even. It was so sweet that Mima was the flower girl. But the best part was that she was so overwhelmed with emotion, everybody, that she had her flowers in her hand, and as she was walking out loud, she just.
I know.
It was like, and that's because she was just so overwhelmed.
Yes, I got to watch the video back. I know, and that makes me cry. And I'm a big baby. I'm a mush. I cry at everything.
Yeah.
And if I see someone crying, forget it.
Forget it. I can't.
I'm done. A puddle.
It's a thing. But I remember Roxy saying that she just wanted to, like, she told me about that.
Yes.
She just wants to, like, bite their little cheek.
Roxy is by far the most cute aggressive. Of all of us. Yeah.
I think she might have actually.
I have to watch out.
She probably did.
Yeah.
I got to watch out when I have to sit next to her.
Yeah.
Each and every time.
Bite you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she's not the only one. Let me just
relax.
tell you that.
Relax, Roxy.
Yeah,
relax, Roxy.
All right, she's upstairs. Y'all watching in her office. I'm about to get a text message from her. Don't call me that on the air. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. Anyway, still ahead. Maria's going to be here with the latest on the storm that is moving through our area. Plus Amanda.
That's right. Okay, if you haven't gotten the red roses yet, maybe you'll win for our hookup. Don't forget about it. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations. 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th. And a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for a chance to win on our website, foxla.com/contest, or scan that QR code on the screen. We'll be right back.
She did.
to Good Day LA on this Thursday at 7:30.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
Oh, thank you.
Aww.
It's great to be with all of you.
Wait.
What?
Then oh, yeah.
That's not how you do it.
That is?
Is it?
It is. That's
It
hard.
is? We did it.
This is the most.
Hold on a
You like
second.
that?
Hold on a second.
That.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I don't is my
Yeah,
thing.
you don't.
I don't.
And you do this. You do this. I thought it was the middle finger.
No, yeah, that one.
Well, that you can't show
Okay,
on
anyway,
television, so.
OMG. Maria, help.
Yeah, no,
Help.
it's all, I see the love.
We weren't trying to do all that.
Save us, Maria.
I see the love, though, guys. I do. Hey, speaking of that, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and you're going to be, just cuddling up, sidling up next to your sweetheart, because we're still going to get effects from this storm system. It's going to be kind of damp. Here's a live look outside right now. This is our Catalina camera. Not raining too hard here. As you can see, I see Hamilton Cove here. I love Catalina, in case you didn't know, but this is a good spot to go if you want to do a little surprise fly on the chopper to Catalina with your love. That would be a nice Valentine's Day gift. Weather brought to you by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. And here's a look at, you said Big Bear? Mammoth. We've got some snow. Look at this wet snow up in Mammoth. You can see the guys getting ready. They're digging out some of that stuff, cleaning up, getting ready for all the snowboarders and skiers. We locally, you're going to get some fresh powder as well. Excited about that up at Big Bear. That's at the higher elevation, right? 8,000 feet. You're getting several inches, maybe even 2 feet of snow after this is all said and done. This is a big area of low pressure here, very potent storm system that's tapping into that atmospheric river. So we are getting a lot of moisture headed our way today. In fact, getting stronger even as we get to the afternoon. So heavier rainfall rates expected. This is a significant storm, the strongest storm we've seen all season since last year, really, bringing us a total of about 1.5 to 3 inches of rain for the coast and valleys. This is through Saturday. 3 to 6 inches expected for the mountains and foothills. And as I mentioned, quite a bit of snow there for our local resorts. There is a high risk for flooding today because of the stronger cells we're expecting this afternoon. Mud and debris flows, maybe even some landslides, and of course, roadway flooding. Here are the rainfall rates according to the computer model. We watch this carefully because there is a threshold that we look at. Anything less than 1/3 of an inch per hour, I think that's okay. The ground is able to pick up all of that rain and get saturated. But then when we get to 1/2 inch an hour or more, that's when we get worried. See, no problems yet as of till about 1 p.m. And then as we get beyond that, look at this, 3/4 of an inch per hour, 1 inch or more per hour in parts of San Bernardino potentially, downtown LA, 0.6 of an inch per hour. That's when we get those problems. So this is why we've got the evacuation orders, or rather warnings in place. So heed those warnings, please. Be ready. Have that plan in place with you and your family. As of 2 p.m., we're going to get to the mid-50s in Burbank and Pasadena, 60 degrees in Boyle Heights with heavier rain, as you can see here. I'll show you the 7-day forecast in just a few moments. In the meantime, back to you.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, it's Galentine's Day. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so let's share the love, shall we? Entertainment is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. Roses are red. Thank you for watching Good Day LA. Love is Blind is back with Nick and Vanessa Lachey. Season 8 starts streaming tomorrow. And after all these years in couples, Levin, Jen, is love truly blind?
I think half of us believe we're engaged. Hunger Games, baby.
NNV with LIB, you are, 8 seasons and plus, more in the making. On a scale of 1 to 10, what have you noticed? Is love truly blind?
We believe that love is blind because at the core of everything, everybody in the world wants to be loved for who they are on the inside. Not for what they look like, not for how much money they make, not for what their family brings to the table or lacks. It just is for who they are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the crazy and the adorable. And so there are layers.
He's crying. I need you to tell me everything.
Yeah, I think love is blind, but is it enough in the end, right? When all the other factors come.
Is it enough, right?
Love is
let's
blind.
ask our married couple, huh? When your loved one is snoring, is love blind, or do you say, hey, hey?
Oh, no, I say, hey, I still love him, but I definitely do clock him.
No.
And he always says, you really hit me hard
It's not
last
so.
night. And I was like, baby, it started with a hey.
Yes.
Then it was a tap, then it was a nudge, and none of that worked. So finally it's like a whop, and then he wakes up. But
Love is the guest room.
Well,
love is the guest room.
as Al Roker said on the Today Show, love is death.
I believe he knew exactly what I looked like the entire time we were talking through the wall.
Can you share before we go one romantic thing you still do for each other to give all the other couples hope out there?
Aw. I still like writing Nick little letters, whether it's lipstick on the mirror or a little card in his backpack when he goes on a trip, but it's still those little oh, I'm thinking of you, and when he finds it, I know he knows that I took the time to do it. So that's something that I still do for him.
And she also her love language is also cooking, which is not necessarily good for my waistline, but also very good for the heart. So
I don't think that cooking is a love language, but
you call your love language.
Of the love language, I love cooking, and after 19 years together, when I cook, I still look at him when he takes his first bite, and I'm like,
and I could feel I'm like, it's great, it's so good.
But wait,
so I think that Vanessa, like most women, loves flowers.
Valentine's Day is so close. I'm like, what is my favorite flower?
Well, so it's the Eric Budaba Reflex Rose. I can't deal with this for the rest of my life.
Oh, get me out of here!
Ooh.
I'm so excited!
Season 8, it's a date. Tomorrow it starts streaming. Let's go.
Woo!
Let's go.
Season 8.
Yeah, season 8.
They're so deep. So of all of the couples that have been on Love is Blind, I think 11 have gotten married.
Yep. 2 divorces.
2 divorces.
Yeah.
And two babies? Mm-hmm. I think, right? 2 couples have had
2
babies?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Zach and Bliss.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't know how many couples there have been after the show. So I don't know what the ratio is, but
I think it's better than The Bachelor.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
You know, I think maybe they're staying together so far.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Of course, I like Cameron and Lauren from season 1. They're still together. Love them.
I've never watched season 1.
Oh, go back. Season 1's good. It's where it all starts, from the heart. Well, that's our poll question of the day. We're in a Valentine's state of mind. Do you celebrate any of these? Do you celebrate Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, both? Me. Neither. Wow, 60%, neither. Go to foxla.com/vote to let us know, and we'll have that result for you a little later on in the show. Okay, so we have a very special Valentine's Day shout out to one of our mommy meteorologists. This one is special and comes from a mom who does it all. Her Valentine is her son, who is kind, smart, and tall. He loves to hang with friends, and have you seen him play ball? You may know her for her forecast every day with the weather, but Maria's sunshine is her son all the time. They are better together. So happy Valentine's Day, Maria, and to your main man, Gus. You are such a good role model to all of us.
Oh my gosh, that
so
made me tear up a little bit.
You made me cry, Amanda.
Oh my gosh, Amanda.
You made me totally
And how about this little flashback?
Where did you find this?
How about this from the archives? Super Gus!
This is when I used to bite his foot.
Yes, I can see why.
Not now. Not now. That's a stinky foot now.
Is he taller than you?
He's taller than me by a couple
That's
inches.
wild.
Yeah, this was a few months ago.
You're doing a great job being Gus's.
Aw, he's
Yes, you
like
are.
this tall now to me. He's 14. He just turned 14, so.
You are a role model mama.
Yes.
Thank you. Amanda, that was so sweet.
Of course. Happy Galentine's Day.
Thank you.
All right, Samara.
Oh, I gotta gather.
Another super mama.
Gather myself. Oh, so cute. Amanda, great job. And Maria, Gus, great job indeed. Good morning, everyone. We've got you covered traffic-wise. Good Day Late Traffic, sponsored by Jacoby and Myers. We've got you covered here. And yes, if you can avoid hitting the roads, do it. Stay home, work remote if you can. But if you can't, just give yourself a lot of extra time leaving the house this morning. Especially, we've got a lot of incidents. This one, the latest one, jackknife big rig, Sigler in play, southbound side of the 5 at the 14. That collision, unfortunately, had that big rig with the rain coming down, skidded off, or at least into the lanes, and is now on its side. That signal is going to remain in place for another 3 hours. And another big rig-involved accident, possibly also rain-related, eastbound section of the 91 at the 215. That big rig is dangling just off the right shoulder there. That transition road will be shut down at least for a couple hours as well. Reminder, due to weather and mudslide concerns, P-Stage is closed in both directions from Malibu Canyon Road to Chautauqua Boulevard near the McClure Tunnel. Now here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
A 40-ton truck can wreak havoc on the road and drastically change your life. If you've been injured in a truck accident, let us fight for the justice you deserve. We won't settle for anything less. Call Jacoby and Myers at 1-800-5-MILLION today.
Welcome back. Don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena in Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. For a chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contest or link to the QR code on the screen. Good luck. Dan, Melvin.
Esmond, thank you. Well, 2 years ago, everybody, Wendy Williams was diagnosed with a form of dementia. She vanished from the spotlight and has been under a guardianship since.
But there are now questions surrounding all of that. In the new TMZ Presents documentary, Saving Wendy Williams, she speaks out from behind the glass of her room at an assisted living facility where she claims that she is being treated like a prisoner because of an abusive guardianship.
The guardian, that's Miss Morrissey, is to permit Wendy as much independence as is practical. This sounds more like a prison than independence.
The system must fail failed from top to bottom regarding this guardian and everybody involved with that. The system has failed. I want my freedom back. How about that?
Harvey Levin joining us now. Harvey, the latest news is this is just happening hours after your documentary aired. The wheels began turning to end her guardianship.
Yeah, she signed an affidavit, we're told, yesterday, basically asking the judge to get her out of this guardianship, saying that she has regained her capacity. And they are going to have doctors reevaluate her, and they're going to go to court and ask that the guardianship end. Now, you're right that a couple of years ago, that guardianship was established for good reason. Somebody was getting into Wendy's bank account, and she was in no condition to really protect herself. She was deep into alcohol. Thing is, the situation has changed. I have spent hours on end talking to Wendy, as have other people, and we've all reached the same conclusion. Everybody I've talked to who has talked with her, she's back to being the old Wendy. She's sober now. And now the question, why is she in that facility? Why can't she go outside without permission? She has only breathed fresh air twice in the last 30 days. She cannot have people call her. She can't have people visit her. She's confined essentially to this room and has been for a long, long time. And Wendy Williams is with it. And you will see that if you watch the documentary, that she is back to who she was before this guardianship was established.
I guess my question is, she was diagnosed, as we learned after that Lifetime documentary, with frontotemporal dementia, which is what Bruce Willis has.
Yeah.
But also there was talk that she had alcohol-induced dementia. So which one is it? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, they never said she had alcohol-induced dementia. They did say she had frontotemporal dementia.
Yeah.
Thing about that is this. Frontotemporal dementia never, let me repeat that, never gets better. It only gets worse. It is a deteriorating condition. Wendy Williams was here when she was at her lowest. She is here now. She's back to where she was. So if she had frontotemporal dementia, how could she improve? You can't improve. Alcohol-induced dementia, Jen, which you mentioned, is something that is very similar and can be misdiagnosed. It can get better. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying that's what she has, but it sure doesn't seem like she has frontotemporal dementia, because she's just way better. And if you talk to her, or if you watch a documentary, you're going to see that. So that's why she's being reevaluated.
How did she end up in this guardianship in the first place?
Well, look, she was deep into alcohol. Like I said, Wells Fargo noticed someone was getting into her bank account and spending a ton of money, and they couldn't get in touch with her because Wendy said her son took her phone away. And so Wells Fargo properly went to court and said to a judge, we need to establish a guardianship to protect her money. And the judge said yes. And it morphed into a personal guardianship as well, because Wendy was so off the rails with alcohol, as you could see in the Lifetime documentary that aired last year. So there were reasons for it back then. Personally, I just think those reasons don't exist anymore.
Yeah, Harvey, you're not the only one who I know who's connected with Wendy. I mean, Rosanna Scotto, you know Rosanna, works for Fox 5.
Rosanna's in our documentary.
That's right. That's right. And she spent some time with her, and she echoes the exact same thing that you've been saying, where there has been such a dramatic change in her disposition and her clarity since what we saw in the Lifetime documentary. So yeah. I guess my question is, who does she have in her life, in her close personal circle, who's there for her, who's looking out for her, and who is going to be an advocate for her?
Well, she has two people in particular. One, Alex, her niece, and a second, a woman named Gina, who is a caregiver who's been, closely with Wendy over the last, 5 or 6 months. And they are really advocates for her. And they're trying to get her out of this guardianship. But again, there are two issues. One, getting her out of the guardianship. But the second issue is, even though she's in a guardianship, it's one thing to have that. It's another thing. Why have they tried to sequester her from the world the way they have? Why can't she get phone calls? Why can't she go on the internet? Why can't people visit her? Why can't she get fresh air? Why is the judge saying don't talk to the media? Why is all of this happening?
How was she able to talk to you?
Yeah, good question.
Because she wanted to. Yeah. And she called me, and I've talked to her for hours and hours over the last month and a half or so. And at a point I said, hey, let's put this on camera. But I couldn't get a camera into the facility because nobody can get in there. So I said, look, we'll put a camera on the sidewalk. We'll shoot up to the 5th floor. You take the phone, call me if you want, and go to the window. And that's how we shot this.
Wow. All right, Harvey, thank you so much. And TMZ presents Saving Wendy is available now on Tubi. We'll be right back.
And welcome back on this wet Thursday. I'm meteorologist Maria Quiban. We've got news on our weather system that is moving in and going to bring us even heavier rain later this afternoon. If you are traveling, here's a wide look at the country's temperatures today. 17 in Chicago, 50 in Atlanta, 46 in New York City. Here in the west, where we've got that potent storm system, really up and down the California coast, looking at some rain and mountain snow, a lot of it over the Sierra Nevada. We will get some snow as well here in SoCal, finally, because of the atmospheric river. It is aimed right at us, so we're getting an abundance of rain. And then eventually, as the colder part of the storm sags south a little bit further, that's going to help lower the snow level back down. It's at about 8,000 feet now. It'll be back down to about 5,500 to 6,000 feet as we get to tomorrow. This is one of our computer models. I want to show you and time out what we're expecting rain-wise. Right now, we're seeing widespread rain, moderate to heavy at times. But as we fast forward to this afternoon, after 2 p.m., that's when the heaviest of the cells will really start to roll in. The peak of the storm and the cold front moving in between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. tonight. So the mountains, the foothills, those recently burned hillsides, really vulnerable to the mud and debris flows. We could even see some thunderstorms, and that can definitely trigger those mud and debris flows. Flooding, definitely a big problem, as you can see here. Continued rain hour after hour, actually into tomorrow morning in some areas, and then eventually things will start to taper off as we get to the afternoon. So some of the impacts today include that flooding, because look how much rain we're expecting, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3+ inches for the coast and valleys, upwards of 3 to 6 inches for the mountains and foothills. And yes, those high rain rates is what we're concerned with, and those rainfall rates, when it crosses that threshold of over 1/2 inch per hour, that's when we get very concerned, especially over those denuded hillsides. We're looking at strong gusty winds, those wind warnings in effect for the mountains, so travel up to the high country will be a little tricky with those winds, and of course that high elevation snow. We could see 1 to 2 feet of snow after this is all said and done. We need the rain. So far this month, we have had some rain, 2.71 inches so far for the season. We still have a deficit, though, as you can see, almost 6 inches below seasonal average. But hopefully we'll get some to add to that bucket, and we'll take a bite out of that deficit. Here's our 7-day forecast as we look at a couple more rainy days, particularly today, getting heavy this afternoon into this evening. And then we'll clear things out on Saturday. The weekend looks good with President's Day holiday, more sunshine, and those temperatures warming up slightly. 30s up into the mountains today with that snow. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break. Here's my main man right here. This is when he was in 2nd grade.
The National Weather Service issues a high-risk alert for flooding as this massive storm moves into our area. We'll have the very latest as Good Day LA continues after a short break.
Good morning. Welcome to Good Day LA at 8. I'm Jen Lammers.
And I'm Melvin Robert. Great to be with all of you. Here's a look at what we've got cooking up for you this morning. A powerful storm making a mess all across Southern California. We haven't seen the worst of it yet, unfortunately. We are tracking the very latest, though, for you.
From Pacific Palisades down to Orange County in the Inland Empire, evacuation warnings take effect this morning. We'll have live reports from these areas coming up. But first, let's get over to Maria for the latest on this storm.
Yeah, definitely tracking the radar and tracking where all that rain is falling. Yesterday was nice. It was mostly light, occasionally moderate rain. Now we're looking at moderate rainfall, occasionally heavy in some spots. As we take a look at the last few frames here, some of the heavier cells out towards the Inland Empire that drive up the 15 and the 215. We've got freezing rain heading up into the higher elevations and some snow up above 8,000 feet. Slight little break here through parts of LA County and even the northern section of Orange County, but there's another swath of moisture just upstream in Ventura. That's going to make its way south for sure. We're tapping into this atmospheric river, so an abundance of water vapor and moisture still aimed at our way. Area of low pressures is a very potent storm system. It's still going to make its way south, so we're going to get some even heavier rain as we get to the afternoon hours. The peak time, I'll go over that in just a moment, but temperatures right now ranging from about 55 in Santa Ana, 50 in Apple Valley, Big Bear 36 degrees currently, 54 in Burbank to that 57 in Santa Monica. High temperatures not really going to warm up too much more than where we're at right now. It's going to stay below average in the upper 50s here for the coastal communities to downtown LA. 56 perhaps in the valleys, parts of the Inland Empire, 39 eventually up into Big Bear, 61 in the high desert with those gustier winds over the mountains and deserts, and then in the Coachella Valley, even there, a chance for showers as we watch that rain move inland at 64 degrees. I'll go over all the flash flood watches and weather alerts in just a few moments. In the meantime, let's head back over to Samada and see how the traffic is moving along now. Hey, Samada.
Good morning, Maria. Good morning, everyone. Yes, as Maria pointed out, there are flood advisories already in place, meaning the roadways, some of them already flooded out. So if you can avoid getting on the roads, do it. If you can't, give yourself a lot of extra time. It is slick out there. We've had numerous reports of spin-outs and accidents, and the latest one that continues at this hour, that's Siglard has the truck route shut down due to a jackknife big rig on its side, southbound side of 5 at the 14 through the Newhall Pass. And over to the Riverside area, also a big rig-related accident. This rig, unfortunately, is dangling off the side, off to the right shoulder, so crews are working really hard to get that straightened up. Eastbound 91 at the 215, and over to Malibu, we're getting some fresh reports. Rock slide now. PCH is shut down in both directions there at Yerba Buena Road in the Malibu area. So just be extra cautious. And here's a live Caltrans camera. Hey, take it slow out there. That's good to see. Both directions on the 5 at Lakewood Boulevard. Moving along okay. But the rain, it continues to come down. And unfortunately, as we get into the evening commute, things are expected to get even tougher. Jed, Melvin.
All right, Samada, thank you. So we do have team coverage of this latest storm. We continue now with Mario Ramirez.
That's right. He's live in the Pacific Palisades, where some recent burn areas there are now under evacuation warnings. Good morning.
That's right. Those evacuation warnings went into effect about an hour ago, and there's a possibility that they could quickly change into mandatory orders. Now, the rain, at least for the most part, it's on pause for now. We know, as Maria's been mentioning, there's more on the way. This is a look at Pacific Coast Highway at Sunset Boulevard. This is the second of back-to-back rainstorms here in Southern California, bringing the threat of flooding, mudslides, and debris flows in these burn areas. And take a look at the video. We've already seen some of that activity here last night on PCH near Big Rock, where mud and large rocks came down onto the road, which is why a long stretch of PCH remains closed from Chautauqua Boulevard to Carbon Beach Terrace in Malibu. LA County crews have been working around the clock, installing concrete barriers, distributing sandbags in these burn areas, and working to make sure that over 150 debris basins are clear to prevent more flooding. And these warnings that are in effect in the Palisades area, impacting the Getty Villa area, Highlands near the burn scar, Reseda and Marinette Road near Will Rogers State Park, and Mandeville Canyon above Tanner's Road. Fire officials say that warning means you should pack an emergency kit, secure important documents, and have a plan in place for family and pets. All eyes now on the rain, how much of it and how fast it'll come down. Utility and emergency crews still working in some of these areas despite the wet weather, and we talked to one a little earlier this morning. Take a listen.
It does make it harder because it's just pulling on that thing. Sometimes we either climb up the dirt and you're all slipping. Like it makes it way harder, but You know, it still needs to get done. They're living there, and then, well, every day they come out to us and tell us thank you because it's cold up there. It's cold.
And now this is a look at some of the rain we had in this area for hours this morning before it started to pause around 6:30, 7 o'clock with the heavier downpours still on the way. We have a flash flood watch by the National Weather Service through this evening, which means flooding and debris flows caused by that rain definitely possible. Coming back out here live, you can see the difference. As we were speaking here, the light sprinkling started to pick up again as those warnings are now expected to be in place here in this area through at least tomorrow afternoon. That's the latest here in the Palisades. I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
Hi, Mario. Thank you very much. Also this morning, sandbags are stacked, debris basins are cleared, but the question is it going to be enough?
Yeah, so officials say the storm could push the limits of flood control systems, and we have Gigi Graciette live in Altadena now, where crews have been working all around the clock in preparation for the storm. Gigi.
That's right. Good morning, everyone. We're on Loma Alta Drive here in Altadena. This is right up against the foothills, and this is really where the concern starts. You can see what is left of a home there, a burnt-out home, and we're just getting word. We're going to start with some breaking news. An evacuation order has now been issued. Yesterday, an evacuation warning was being discussed, but now it has turned into an order. We're going to get you much more information about that. You are looking at the hillside, and you might see there a representative from the Rubio Canyon Land and Water Association. They actually provide water here to the unincorporated part of Altadena, and they're here doing their daily pumping work. But you see the heavy equipment that is stationed throughout Altadena, and also these K-rails are here because, of course, the concern with so much continuous and later this afternoon, as Maria's been telling you, heavy rain, mud and debris flow, just like in the Palisades fire area and in all the burn scar areas for this storm. Now take a look. We said that the folks have been preparing. Sandbag distribution has been underway. We've seen people putting up tarps on the hillside. We've seen folks sandbagging their homes, those who are lucky enough to have a home to return to. And for the burnt out homes, well, the city, Public Works, they've been out here, the county, they've been putting up those erosion control logs to prevent any debris from coming down. And in the debris of the burnt out houses, officials tell us, well, there could still be hazardous materials in that ash. We're talking about lead and asbestos. And of course, they don't want to see that in the runoff water from the storm. So again, an evacuation order has just been issued. We're going to get the specific for you, and we'll bring that to you right here on Good Day LA. But that is just happening right now because of this intense storm. Reporting live, I'm Gigi Graciette. I'll send it back to you.
Man, we get it, but people are there already so exhausted. Thank you, Gigi. Man, oh man. Okay, so to Orange County now, where voluntary evacuation warnings will soon be in effect for areas near the airport fire burn scar.
That's right. Coco McAboy live for us in Rancho Santa Margarita, where residents are waiting to see what happens next. Good morning.
Good morning. We actually moved here to Trabuco Canyon. There are voluntary evacuation warnings already in place throughout Orange County, and those are for communities that live near that airport fire burn scar, like Trabuco Canyon here. You can see that there is a sign already in place that shows that there is a voluntary evacuation warning now in place, and those warnings are because there's the concern of debris flow and flooding from the storm. The National Weather Service warns significant rainfall is expected today, and that heavy rainfall can lead to dangerous conditions. Now, we have seen quite a few people still driving in this area, and people are still in their homes, and that's because this is a voluntary evacuation warning at this point. But people with large animals are encouraged to move their animals before the heavy rain this morning. This voluntary evacuation warning went into effect at 8 o'clock this morning, so just a few minutes ago. But as we've been mentioning all morning long, this storm is going to continue throughout the day into the evening. So right now it's a voluntary evacuation warning, but there is always the possibility that this could get upgraded. And that's why officials are warning people who live near the airport fire burn scar area to be prepared. They want people to have an evacuation plan in place just in case this does get upgraded and just in case the storm does continue to worsen. They really want people who are located downhill from the airport fire burn scar to be aware and be extra vigilant during the storm because they are at a very great risk for debris flow and flooding. I'll send it back to you.
Coco, thank you very much. And for updates on this developing storm, you can download the Fox Weather app from your app store for free. You can watch the radar on your street even in real time.
All right, 8:12 and still ahead looking for some extra security. How about an app that lets you order bodyguards? We're going to show you how it works.
Also, don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for a chance to win on our website, foxla.com/contest, or link through the QR code on the screen. We'll be back. All right, everybody. Well, after 30 years in Orange County, In-N-Out is moving its corporate offices back to the San Gabriel Valley. The new office will be located in Baldwin Park near the site of its first restaurant. While some employees will relocate to LA County, others will head to a new office in Tennessee that's opening next year. The move is scheduled to be complete by 2029.
You know, forget spending $8 million on a Super Bowl commercial. Is that how much they cost? Oh, my God.
It's expensive.
Ooh, well, there's an app where you can hire your own personal security. It's coming out on Friday, and it's already breaking the internet. This is thanks to 2 influencers at New York Fashion Week wearing camouflage and obnoxiously bright pink fluffy jackets. The creator of the app, Protector, hired their 2 friends, seen here getting picked up from the airport, to create content to promote the app this week, and it's blowing up online. Protector is part Uber, part bodyguard, where you book an Escalade to drive you around with at least 1 bodyguard inside that will walk with you to wherever you're going, keep you safe, and drive you to wherever else you need. The Protectors are credentialed law enforcement. All right, and you can even pick their uniform to accommodate your occasion. The app will only be available in LA and New York, and here's the thing, no word yet on how much that'll cost you.
Interesting. How about this? New evacuation orders in the area of the Eaton fire. And Maria's here with the very latest for us. Good morning.
Just put out, really, the evacuation order, you guys. So if you live in and around this area of Sierra Madre, parts of Arcadia, just north there on the base of the foothill communities, there is an evacuation order. You must leave. And then the surrounding neighborhoods there under the yellow, the evacuation warning, you must be prepared to go. This is all part of the strong storm that is moving overhead and bringing us now a lot of rain. As we take a look at some snow, did we just have the snow up there? We can take a look at that, maybe. Go to WSI 1, and you'll be able to see my official snow report. And as we get it going there in the control room, there it is. There's the snow. There's the, these are great conditions for our local snowboarders, our skiers, because we are expecting 1 to 2 feet of fresh powder above 8,000 feet. So here's your official Big Bear snow report up in Big Bear Mountain, 12 to 30-inch base right now, but we're adding to it at the moment. We've got wet snow that's falling, trails 15 out of the 27. It is kind of, well, a little blizzardy looking right out there. Things are going to clear out a little bit as we get into tomorrow, so tomorrow will be a really nice day to hit the slopes. In the meantime, right now, we're taking a look at quite a bit of rain. This is why you have those evacuation orders in place. Parts of the Eaton fire, those neighborhoods just below, we had a strong cell that just moved through, moderate to strong rain that is moving through right now. And we are expecting more as the more potent part of the storm rolls in here later this afternoon and this evening. We're tapping into that atmospheric river, so a lot of water vapor, a lot of moisture is going to be headed our way. Sometime between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. tonight is the peak of the strongest of the rainfall. That is, of course, giving us concerns for those recently burned hillsides, not just for flooding for the low-lying areas and our roadways, but mud and debris flows. Also, swift water rescue is going to be increasing today because of all of this rain. High surf along our coast. We've got 1 to 3+ inches of rain expected for the coast and valleys, maybe even 3 to 6 inches for the mountains and foothills. We've got a lot of weather alerts in place, including those strong gusty winds for the mountains and deserts. So we have those high wind warnings and wind advisories, and of course the flooding concerns, prompting the National Weather Service to issue that flash flood watch that's going into effect this morning at 10, and then elsewhere flood watches due to just days of rain. Those roads are going to be impacted, especially those low-lying areas with flooding. So if you can, maybe work from home, work remotely today. There is the Futurecast. Just want to show you as we time out the storm here. The main cold front is going to be moving in at 1, 2 p.m. That's where we see those brightly colored areas, those heavy downpours. There's even a chance for thunderstorms, as I said, and that can certainly trigger those mud and debris flows. Let's take a look at our highs here as we get to the afternoon. Not really going to get too warm, 50s mostly for that high temperature. All right, that's a look at my weather for now. We'll be right back after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
anything happen? Anything you couldn't explain? You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what? I'm a what? Attention, muggles. Oh, the first 4 Harry Potter films are returning to theaters starting today.
Yeah.
Each weekend through March 2nd, a different film will be shown, beginning with The Sorcerer's Stone. Select screenings will feature immersive formats like 3D and 4DX. What is the 4DX? Is that where like the water is sprayed and like your...
The broom slaps you in the face.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah, it's like the seats shake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An immersive experience.
I love
it. So check your local listings for participating theaters.
Do you know what house you belong to with Harry Potter?
I have never watched a Harry Potter movie. I have not read the books. Okay. I don't know what is it.
By the way.
Oh my God.
By the way.
Neither of you have.
Same.
You? Yep.
But do you know Ravenclaw? Do you know Hufflepuff? Do you know Slytherin?
I mean, I know the names from hearing them, but...
Okay.
A Gryffindor. A Wigan Puff?
Yeah. Proud Ravenclaw. Proud Ravenclaw. Not me, not Hermione. You.
I'm a Snufflepug.
Okay. Well, it's like a right over their heads, like flying on a broom. All right, well, hey, this one's not going to go over your heads. Now it's time for a girl who's as hot as carne asada. I'm talking about our lovely little Sumata.
Oh.
Sizzling as steak. She does it in one take. What's not to love, for goodness sake? When she's not here at work, on the beach, she will relax with her sweet hubby, Jason, and adorable son, Jax. He's good at math, like Mom, who does weather and traffic, too. Sumata Khan, with your man and son, you've got it going on.
Aww. I love it.
Aw, thank you, Amanda.
Has anyone ever said you're hot as carne asada, Sumata?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, okay.
Squeeze me.
That's right.
Oh, thank you, and happy Valentine's Day to my family.
Aw, they're so beautiful.
The little guy, and happy Valentine's Day to all you guys as well.
You're a Valentine.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're feeling the love today.
And you're going to be hooking us up.
I am going to be hooking us up. Thank you. So I got caught up in the Cupid love bubble, but I am. I've got gifts for one lucky person. Don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th. And money, $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Probably can get some carne asada there.
Heck yeah, you can.
Enter for a chance to win on our website, foxla.com/contest, or scan that QR code on the screen, lovers. Good luck. We'll be right back.
going to be a good morning, LA. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Oh, my God. I'm so... Look, I'm sorry. They just showed me a video during the break that got my head spinning a little bit.
Same.
Anyway, happy Thursday. Let's do that again.
And you're
We're
welcome.
coming up on 8:30.
That was a gift. That was a little Valentine.
Yeah, it
It's
sure
nice
was.
to be with all of you.
Nice little piece of
I didn't even know where I was after looking at that. Oh, MG.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the rain because everyone's wondering about what's going on. What,
And we
should
have
stay home?
evacuation orders now, too, in place.
We do.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you for reminding us about that. Evacuation orders are in place. Portions of the Sierra Madre area below the Eaton fire area. So please pay attention, stay alert. You need to, especially as we get to the afternoon. There are a lot of evacuation warnings in place in and around the Palisades fire area and, of course, the Eaton fire, the many of those fire-burned areas, not just from this season, but even last season. Looking at our radar, you can see how active it is. We've got quite a bit of rain now, moderate, heavy at times, the rain. And then as we look ahead, even heavier rain conditions expected this afternoon. Between 2 and 10 p.m. tonight will be the peak of the rain as it moves in. We had 6/100th of an inch of rain yesterday to add to the bucket. We need it. We still need. We're under our deficit, almost 6 inches still below the average. So we could use a little bit more rain today and into tomorrow. 58 degrees is what we're expecting for downtown LA. That is well below the average of 68. So grab the jacket as well as the rain boots and that umbrella if you have to be out and about. But try to stay in if you can. That sunset time later at 5:35 this afternoon. Here is your timeline as we get to that 2-3 p.m. hour. Notice some of the yellows here on the radar indicating where we're getting some of those really heavy downpours. 55 in Simi Valley, 59 in Boyle Heights to that 36 in Big Bear.
Which is why evacuation orders and warnings in parts of the burn area went into effect at 7 a.m. this morning. We expect these heavy rains to last through Friday morning, which puts burn areas at particular risk for landslides, mud flows, and debris flows, and other dangerous impacts. There are risks all across Los Angeles, from mud flows in our hills to our flooded streets, downed trees, and fallen power lines. We are leading an all-hands-on-deck approach to keep people safe across the city and to stem mudslides and similar impacts that could slow down rebuilding in the Palisades. In certain areas, individuals have been told they need to evacuate, but I will say, because of the work of the Los Angeles Police Department, if you reside in a home where you need to evacuate, the LAPD has knocked on your door and left a door hanger. So individuals have been contacted if they need to evacuate. City crews have installed concrete barriers and sandbags to stop mud flows. The fire department has pre-positioned swiftwater rescue and urban search and rescue teams, bulldozers, and other resources. DWP crews are activated to respond to power outages, and LAPD officers are checking on critical infrastructure and are ready to facilitate evacuations. We are staying on top of the storm here in the Emergency Operations Center, and with crews deployed citywide, we ask Angelenos to stay vigilant also. I also want to share with you some important updates from recovery from the fires. Phase 2 debris removal has begun months ahead of schedule, and we are pushing forward to rebuild as quickly and, of course, as safely as possible. Today, we are opening the impacted worker and family recovery centers. There will be 4 of them around town. To identify the center near you, go to lacity.gov. And so we would say to people in the Palisades, if individuals who worked for you on your property or in your home are individuals who worked in the commercial area, we want to make sure that you have resources as well. Yesterday, our one-stop center opened where 12 city departments are located in an area so people can begin the permitting process and the planning process to get rebuilding done. So for Angelenos, please stay safe out there and let us know, and we will let you know more information about the storm as it develops. Thank you very much, and let me introduce Dr. Cohen from the National Weather Service.
Thank you very much for having me here, Mayor. My name is Dr. Ariel Cohen, and I'm the meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service of Los Angeles. Exactly as the mayor mentioned, we need to be at a high state of readiness and vigilance as we head through the afternoon and evening hours across the greater Los Angeles area. Even as late as the mid-morning hours, there's still a large range of possibilities that could play out with the weather this afternoon and evening. This is not a high-confidence scenario. At the very least, we are expecting there to be minor debris flows, mudslides, as well as rock slides and flooding across the greater Los Angeles areas. Debris flows across the burn scars, as far as at least minor ones, and mudslides and rock slides in any areas of steep terrain across the greater Los Angeles area. However, as we head through the 4 to 9 p.m. time frame this afternoon into the evening hours, we are expecting a strong weather system to move through and will bring the potential for areas of very heavy rainfall to impact the region. Now, exactly where the heaviest rain occurs, there's still a lot of question marks about that. However, if those heavy rain areas set up over some of the burn scars, such as the Palisades burn scar, Eaton burn scar, and other burn scars across the greater Los Angeles area, there will be the potential for very severe debris flows to occur, in addition to mudslides and rock slides. Again, that's an uncertain situation, far from certain right now, but everyone needs to be at a high state of readiness as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, have multiple ways to receive emergency alert information from the National Weather Service, emergency management, and law enforcement, so that if you do have an evacuation warning or order issued for your area, you take those orders and warnings very seriously. We're not going to necessarily be sure about significant debris flows occurring until potentially right before they occur. So already be thinking about now the what-if scenarios. What would happen if that warning or order comes? Do you know where you'd go? Do you know what you'd do to take those immediate protective actions to save your life and those of your loved ones? Be thinking now about the possibilities. There's a chance that we get through this event without any significant impacts at all. That's a definitive possibility and would be a very fortunate outcome. However, as we know with weather, there are uncertainties, even at this late hour. So everyone should be prepared. If you're in a vulnerable location, not only in the burn scars, but especially the burn scars, but anywhere around steep terrain where mudslides and rock slides could occur, now is the time to be preparing. Also, with flooding being a definitive possibility across a larger portion of the greater Los Angeles area, remember, never drive through flooded roadways. You never know how deep the water may be. It only takes a couple feet of floodwaters to cause vehicles to get stranded and to be life-threatening. Do not drive through flooded roadways. Turn around, don't drown if you see flooded roadways. And then I want to mention also, when this weather system comes through, it's going to be a quick burst of this activity in that 4 to 9 p.m. time frame, and will also be accompanied by the risk for damaging wind gusts, possibly from severe thunderstorm-like impacts. So no expectation that these will occur, but the possibility for sporadic damaging winds does exist, potentially with some lightning, but even without lightning or thunder, we are looking at the risk for some damaging wind gusts. That activity would be capable of downing trees and power lines and interfering with other ongoing recovery efforts across the area. So everyone should be prepared and do what it takes in order to mitigate losses due to trees coming down, power lines coming down, and never go near a power line that goes down. As we head into the late evening hours, especially after 9 or 10 p.m., the rain will be pushing east and south of the greater Los Angeles area, although we'll still have on and off intermittent, moderate to occasionally heavy rain persisting through the pre-dawn and perhaps morning hours of Friday that could exacerbate any ongoing flooding issues if they were to occur. Again, my main point here is there's still a lot of uncertainty in exactly what's going to play out. There's a large range of scenarios that extend from at least minor flooding and debris flows that are on the minor side, mudslides and rock slides, all the way up to something significant or extreme occurring. A lot of uncertainty in exactly what plays out. So now is the time to be weather ready, Now is the time to be thinking about what you do to protect your life and those of your loved ones. Thank you for having me.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen Crowley, Fire Chief of Los Angeles City Fire Department. Thank you all for being here. And as we know, the current storm has already arrived. Your Los Angeles City Fire Department wants to assure the public that we are fully engaged in our preparedness, our planning, and response to keep our communities safe. Our top priority is to protect lives, property, and critical infrastructure from the potential impacts of these heavy rains, flooding, and mud and debris flows. Rainfall of this intensity can cause mudslides in any hillside areas of the city. I want to make sure we talk about that. This is a widespread event that could impact a lot of different areas within the city, but especially hazards in and around the areas that have recently burned. Much has been done to prepare for these potential catastrophic rains. We urge all residents, especially those in the hillside and low-lying areas, to remain vigilant and prepared. Now, the LAFD has been preparing for this event over the past few days. In partnership with the California Office of Emergency Services, Cal OES, these specialized resources have been strategically pre-positioned since yesterday so that they could immediately respond to the storm-related types of emergencies and calls for service. We have pre-positioned these specialized resources to include swift water teams strategically located near high-risk flood zones, urban search and rescue teams with heavy equipment to respond to debris flows and structural collapses, additional fire engines and crews assigned to high-risk neighborhoods, particularly those impacted by our recent wildfires. Helicopters are on standby for rapid reconnaissance and aerial rescues if needed. We're working in close coordination with our other city and county departments to address potential hazards before they escalate. Now, the LAFD is also staffing our Emergency Operations Center that's at a level 2 and our LAFD Department Operations Center as well. Now, a real important message that we need to spend a little bit of time on is the cooperation from the citizens of Los Angeles and how important that is during this weather event. We must all remain vigilant. You heard that word a couple times already. We cannot let our guard down. Increased wind and rain, and as we know, then can also increase the likelihood of driving hazards as well. Exercise caution if you must go out. Avoid bodies of water, no matter how calm they look. Especially avoid any moving water, and be on the lookout for downed power lines and trees. The My LA 311 system is available to report non-emergency problems, and that's an important point for the community to know, because this system helps your first responders prioritize precious resources for life-saving emergencies. Also, signing up for the alerts at lafd.org/alerts will allow you to receive timely and accurate information. If you live or travel in the hillside areas that may be in danger of landslides, you must be prepared for an evacuation order or alert from the Emergency Management Department. I want to take just a brief moment to thank all of our LAFD firefighters, LAPD officers, our other first responders, and every single city department that continues to work as one city family to maintain services to our residents and visitors of Los Angeles. Thank you to Mayor Bass and Los Angeles City Council for your leadership, and as well as your continued support. And most of all, we'd like to thank the residents for being prepared and ready. Let me be very, very clear. Your LAFD is well prepared, fully prepared, and ready to respond to any emergency caused by this storm. I'm very, very proud of your LAFD, as they are highly trained and fully committed to keeping our communities safe. Thank you, everyone. And next, I have the actual honor to introduce LAPD Chief McDonald.
Thank you, Chief Crowley. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here and getting the message out to the public. Our top priority is public safety, and with the incoming storm, we've taken proactive measures to ensure the residents in high-risk areas are evacuated. Last night, LAPD personnel worked through the evening conducting door-to-door notifications for houses under mandatory evacuation orders due to the risk of mudslides and mud flow. Residents in the Palisades, Hearst, and Sunset fire areas who are not under mandatory evacuation remain on evacuation warning. What you've heard throughout this is to be ready. The state of readiness is critical to being able to survive a major event should it go in the wrong direction. A squad of 2 sergeants and 20 units were deployed last night in the Palisades area to notify residents to ensure they received the evacuation order. Hollywood and Foothill divisions conducted similar efforts in the Sunset and Hearst fire zone areas. If residents were not home, officers posted notices and documented their efforts to ensure accountability on that front. Additionally, residents in affected homes received wireless emergency alerts on their phones. Currently, as of this morning, mandatory evacuation orders remain in effect for 106 homes in the Palisades area, 9 homes in the Sunset area, and 4 homes in the Hearst area. These are mandatory evacuations, not warnings. Residents must leave for their safety. If an officer did not notify you in person or you did not receive an alert and notice posted at your residence, you remain in an evacuation warning area rather than a mandatory evacuation zone. Starting this morning at 7 o'clock, no contractors were allowed into the burn area until that order is lifted. Residents who evacuate will not be allowed to return until it's deemed safe to do so. Traffic control points are in place and officers have a list of impacted homes. Pacific Coast Highway remains closed and is only open to disaster response personnel. We have coordination with our partner agencies, and I'll give you just a rundown on some of the deployment. For AWatch, we have 1 lieutenant, 6 supervisors, and 42 officers from LAPD, as well as 3 sergeants and 30 officers that are in the area to provide assistance with evacuation should the need arise. We still have our National Guard partners, 93 deployed, 10 today are on footbeat and 26 on traffic control points, and our partners from the California Highway Patrol, we have a lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and 27 officers, and they're doing crime suppression activities. So we're very thankful to be able to have had for so long the partnership of these agencies, National Guard, CHP in particular. The idea is we're ready for what may occur and able to adapt to circumstances that may arise. We want to thank our officers, the CHP, the National Guard for their efforts overnight, ensuring that every resident received a direct notification. We understand that evacuations are difficult, but this is all about keeping our community safe. We ask for everyone's cooperation in following these orders to protect themselves, their families, and first responders. Thank you. We'll open it up now to any questions you might have.
On these mud flows, debris flows as a result of this incoming rain that we're experiencing right now. It's an all-hands-on-deck effort to protect these homes. There are evacuation orders in place, and I would encourage you to check lafd.org/alerts if you think that your home might be in that area. And as he mentioned, there was an effort by authorities to go door-to-door. So you have likely been notified already ahead of time if you are in one of those high-risk areas for mud or debris flows.
Yeah, Mayor Bass was noting that as well, that you would have received some sort of a notification. Mm-hmm. It's such an unfortunate reality, especially in light of many folks still dealing with the aftermath of these wildfires in the Palisades and in the Altadena communities, and yet you got to heed these warnings, unfortunately. We know that this is less than an ideal situation.
Yeah, we know that a lot of you out there are exhausted from these evacuation orders, but
I empathize very deeply.
Yes, and it is important, and unfortunately these events go hand in hand, right? Because you're talking about all of the vegetation in the ground that was burnt up by these fires, and now this is something that we all have to consider. But we heard from the National Weather Service the worst of it is supposed to come through between 4 and 9 p.m. with those high wind gusts and a lot of rain headed our direction. So also be alert for possible trees down and power lines as well. But we're going to have a closer look at the weather forecast this morning on the other side of the break. So do keep it here.
And welcome back. I'm meteorologist Maria Quiban. This weather report brought to you by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. The rain not too bad here, not yet anyway, on the island of Catalina. It's definitely going to be kind of a gloomy day for you. We've got the clouds and the rain, and it's going to get heavier as we get to the afternoon. Big area of low pressure, the strongest storm of the season thus far, tapping into this atmospheric river, so we've got a lot of moisture still headed our way. This is one of our computer models, picking it up around 7:30 this morning. Widespread rain, and then it gets heavier this afternoon. As you can see, the brighter colors here on the map, particularly the mountains, the foothills. That's where we're really focusing our attention, especially those recently burned hillsides, very vulnerable to those mud and debris flows. 9 p.m. still some very heavy rain, and that's really going to be the peak period of the heaviest of the rain between 2 and 10 p.m. tonight. Then things will start to taper off tomorrow for Valentine's Day. I think some lingering moisture in the afternoon and evening, otherwise much better conditions for Saturday. But we do have flooding concerns, of course, because of all this rain we're expecting, and then the mudslides possible, and swift water rescues will be increasing because of all of that rain today. Strong gusty winds over the mountains, so we do have wind advisories and wind warnings on top of those flood watches and flash flood watches that are in effect. Here's our 7-day forecast as we take a look at the next couple of days. Still kind of stormy, and then we get a much better weekend ahead. It's a holiday weekend with President's Day holiday. We'll see sunshine and those temperatures warming up a little bit, and then we've got the high elevation snow above 8,000 feet, lowering tomorrow to 5,500 feet. Back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you very much. Coming up, we've got a great hookup for you, everybody.
That we do. How you can win 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert.
Well, Greater Ontario is fast becoming the new center of Southern California. From phenomenal restaurants to big-name acts at Toyota Arena, which, by the way, is also home to the major Arena Soccer League's Empire Strikers. Here to talk more about all of this, we have Michael Kraus, the president and CEO of Greater Ontario Visitors and Convention Bureau. And we also have Jeff Burham, president of the MASL and owner of the Empire Strikers. We're going to start with talking about why, for you, Jeff, as the team owner, you decided to make Ontario home to the Strikers.
Well, I've been living out there. I raised my family out there. My kids grew up playing soccer, and we've had a suite at the Toyota Arena since it opened. And to me and to my family, it's the most exciting sport you can ever watch. 12 goals a game. It's not like outdoor soccer that some American fans don't adjust to. It's nonstop action. It's not 7 minutes out of 60 like the NFL on Sunday. It's 60 on 60. So it's a fun and exciting sport.
But now you're giving away tickets as well, right?
We'll always give away as many free tickets or sell you as many tickets on the EmpireStrikers.com all year long.
That's the website you got to go to. Michael, please tell us, tell the people what they can look forward to when they do visit Ontario, because there's so much to see, so much to do.
Jeff sums it up pretty well. He's a passionate guy, this passionate sport, and we're excited to have him in Toyota Arena, which we run. And Toyota Arena is a great facility, lots of food and beverage options, great things to do while you're at the arena. But when you're in town, you can also enjoy the many other services like shopping, dining, great experiences with entertainment as well. So lots of unique and different experiences. Don't forget, in Ontario, we also have an international airport.
That's right.
Of course, it's having record flights in and out of that airport this year compared to past years. But also, we also have a convention center in the region as well that we oversee.
Good Day LA wants to hook you up, by the way, with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. That means a 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario. This is on March 6th. And a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. So enter for your chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contests, or you can link through the QR code on your screen.
Good morning and welcome on this rainy Thursday morning. It's a 9:01. Nice to have you with us. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
So if you thought there was a ton of rain yesterday, get ready. We're expecting so much more today. We have you covered, though, with our team bringing you the latest in the most threatened areas.
Plus, mudslide potentials are heightened near wildfire burn scar areas, of course. So how this is prompting evacuation warnings across the Southland.
And I'm Amanda Salas. Don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment prize package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for a chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contest, or scan that QR code right there on the screen. Rain or shine, it's time. Maria, right?
That's right. And it is definitely raining out there in many areas. of SoCal. There's a little bit of a lull here through parts of OC, but elsewhere, especially up in our mountain locations in the foothill communities, we are getting that moderate to occasionally heavy rain. The rain is expected to get heavier as we get to the afternoon and evening hours, so we're zooming in on some of the areas right now where it's raining pretty hard. Arcadia, we've got a little harder or a downpour here right now off the 210 near Temple City, and out towards the Crestline area, we've got a little bit of a downpour here, and then higher up in elevation, we've got freezing rain to snow up above 8,000 feet now for our Big Bear Mountain location. We're tapping into this atmospheric river, so we've got an abundance of moisture and water vapor aimed at Southern California, not just northern and central parts of our state now. So this moisture is going to stay with us through the day today, getting heavier, especially as we get to the afternoon and evening commute, so keep that in mind as you plan ahead. Temperatures mostly in the 50s. It's not going to warm up too much more than this, so grab that jacket along with the umbrella and those rain boots. Looking at chances for showers as well in our desert communities. I'll go over the watches and weather alerts in just a few moments. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Let's get straight to our storm alert team coverage. Evacuation warnings are in place, and some residents are already packing up.
Crews have been clearing storm drains, but the real test comes later tonight. Gigi live for us in Altadena, tracking the final preparations. Gigi.
And we start off with breaking news because an evacuation order has gone into effect for Sierra Madre. And you are looking live. We are on Auburn and Hermosa. This is the neighborhood below the Auburn debris basin, which is part of the LA County Flood Control District. And this neighborhood, which is also under the Eaton Fire burn scar, is now again under a mandatory evacuation order. I'm going to ask photographer Tony Butita to come round with me. We're going to spin the camera around just to go down the street. That car there with the flashing lights actually belongs to the West Covina Police Department. The Eaton Fire and this emergency, because of the storm, is now what's called a mutual aid situation. That's where you have officers coming in from different cities to help, and that officer has just gone in. You may be able to make him out. He's just leaving that home. He is actually going door to door to tell people that this neighborhood is now under a mandatory evacuation order. Now, I want to give you a list of the streets that this evacuation order is affecting. Take a look. This is north of West Carter Avenue, south of Auburn Avenue, east of Sierra Meadow Drive, and west of Auburn Avenue. If you're familiar with this hillside area, Auburn turns, it's a very curvy street. So again, I just want to repeat that. A mandatory evacuation order now in effect for Sierra Madre under the Eaton Fire burn scar. It is north of West Carter, south of Auburn, east of Sierra Meadow Drive, and west of Auburn Avenue. And take a look. Folks have been preparing for this storm, especially in Altadena, in the Eaton Fire burn scar, in that immediate area where so many homes were lost. They've been preparing for this for a week, and that preparation really turned to an urgent status when the National Weather Service announced we could see over 30 hours of continuous rain. We spoke to some folks who were preparing as best they can.
You know, we're right below the hills. If they come down, I've been there, done that before, we need to be super careful. An ounce of prevention is worth everything these days. We just got to be careful.
And let's just bring it back here live to the city of Sierra Madre. You are looking at a car from the West Covina Police Department. An officer now going door to door here in Sierra Madre. This is a mutual aid situation, which means we have first responders from all over the immediate area of the San Gabriel foothills here. He is going door to door, telling people they should evacuate now. Mandatory evacuation. No one can force you out of your home, and a lot of people choose to stay behind. But once you leave a mandatory evacuation order, you will not be able to get back in until that order is lifted. As for nearby Altadena, that is under an evacuation warning, and that may change because, as you can see, the rain is getting much heavier. Reporting live in Sierra Madre, I'm Gigi Graciette. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gigi, thank you. Appreciate it. We certainly hear the sound of that rain getting heavy. heavier. And now let's go to Mario, keeping an eye on conditions in the Palisades, where mudslide concerns have prompted evacuation orders and warnings.
How's it looking, Mario?
Hi, Roxy, Sandra. Yes, we've definitely got some light rain here, heavier at times a little earlier this morning, and the winds are definitely picking up here in Pacific Palisades, and local law enforcement here on standby. I want to show you some of the signs here surrounding this neighborhood along Sunset Boulevard. The second of back-to-back rainstorms here in Southern California, bringing the threat of flooding, mudslides, and debris flows in these burn areas, and we've already seen some of that activity. Let's go to the video here. Another mudslide last night on PCH near Big Rock, where mud and large rocks came down onto the road, which is why a large stretch of it remains closed from Chautauqua Boulevard to Carbon Beach Terrace in Malibu. LA County crews have been out here working around the clock, installing concrete barriers and distributing sandbags in burn areas, and working to make sure that over 150 debris basins are cleared to prevent more flooding. And we're talking about those evacuation warnings here that are now in effect in the Palisades fire burn zone, impacting the Getty Villa area, Highlands near the burn scar, Reseda and Marinette Road near Will Rogers State Park, and Mandeville Canyon above Tanner's Road. Fire officials say that warning means you should pack an emergency kit, secure important documents, and have a plan in place for family and pets. Now, we also want to talk about what we've seen out here. Utility and emergency crews still working in some of these areas despite the wet weather. Take a listen.
It does make it harder because it's just pulling on that thing. Sometimes we either climb up the dirt and you're all slipping. Like it makes it way harder, but you know, it still needs to get done. They're living there, and then, well, every day they come out to us and tell us thank you because it's cold up there. It's cold.
And now look at some of the rain we had earlier this morning for hours, nonstop, consistent downpour. It paused around 6:30 to 7 o'clock, and we're still expecting those heavier downpours later today. Back out here live, it is picking up again. That flash flood watch issued by the National Weather Service through this evening. And those warnings, those evacuation warnings are in place here through at least tomorrow afternoon. We know they can quickly change to mandatory orders. For now, that's the latest here in Pacific Palisades. We'll send it back to you.
All right, and we'll be checking in with you throughout the morning, Mario. Thank you. And for any updates on this developing storm, you can download the Fox Weather app from your app store. It's all free. You can watch the radar on your street in real time, so it is definitely useful to do that.
All right, there's a lot more coming up on Good Day LA, but first, don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment Prize Package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for your chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contests or link through the QR code right there on your screen. Now let's get a check on traffic with Maria.
Good Day LA traffic is brought to you by Jerome's Furniture. A lot of solo vehicle crashes, a lot of accidents related to those wet roads out there. Here's a live look at our real-time traffic map with a lot of incidents. I want to go over to the valley here to the 101. There's actually a crash there on the southbound 101 at the 134. One lane is blocked and the right shoulder is also blocked, so that's causing some backups here. Hopefully they will get that out of the way in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Also remember that part of PCH is closed due to weather and, of course, the threat of those mudslides. That's from Malibu Canyon Road to Chautauqua, so avoid that area. Here's the live camera. This is our northbound 605 freeway at Peck Road. Moving nicely here. Drive carefully and slowly, please, if you have to be out in the roads. Now here's a look at some of our other traffic hotspots.
Jerome's President's Day event just got even better.
Revitalize your patio or garden space with this Sunna outdoor sofa for just $5.99. Plus, we're giving you the freedom to choose your savings, including now free expedited shipping.
Welcome back to Good Day LA. It's season 13 of The Masked Singer. Can you believe it? 13 seasons. And let's just say last night's season premiere was sweet like honey.
King of comedy, my man! Cedric the Entertainer!
Find a better guy in Hollywood that can pull off a hat like Cedric the Entertainer! Woohoo! Wow, we really...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Honey Pot, in the flesh. You were the first to go, but man, you know how to put on a show, Cedric the Entertainer. But you know, you're no stranger to singing, because I hear in college you were in singing groups.
Yeah, I did. I had a couple of groups, and I used to sing in talent shows and talent competitions in my high school years and in college. And of course, you know, now if you want to see me, I'm in Vegas with Tony Braxton.
I know.
We on stage doing my thing. Yeah.
I know. What was the most fun about bringing sexy back to The Masked Singer?
You know, I mean, of course, you know, the costume, the honey pot, once I saw it, I was like, all right, this is going to be a lot of fun. Those boots were really high, though. They went up all on my thighs, so I couldn't get my real boogie on like the way I wanted to, but it was fun.
But you still got down, and we appreciate. Now, look out, Beehive. It's all about the Cedric the Entertainer hive, right?
That's right. I got the honeydews.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Now, Ken, speaking of lucky season 13, Ken Jeong got it right, and he was lucky and guessed that it was you. How did that make, is that a compliment when someone can tell it was you, or are you like, darn?
You know, I had a big concern because I'm friends with a lot of, you know, most of those guys on it, Robin, Ken, and Rita Ora, Nick, of course.
Right.
So I knew that once they kind of heard my voice, it was going to be a little hard to fool them. And so, you know, Ken, I just saw him recently at an event. And so I was like, he's going to get it. He's going to get it right away. But that was pretty cool.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Fox told me that Lucky season 13 was going to be big, but you brought the buzz. So it was definitely buzzworthy with you last night. Congratulations, Honey Pot. You definitely brought sexy back.
Let's go. I love that.
Let's go. We sure did. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. Cedric the Entertainer, everybody.
Right.
Woo!
Thank you, darling. All right.
Good to see you,
Time
sir.
to get down. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, you can catch The Masked Singer every Wednesday night right here on Fox 11. Lucky season 13. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to you, meteorologist Maria Quiban. This weather report brought to you by Pechanga Resort Casino. Yes, we're looking at this potent storm now, and it is coming in with a lot of rain. We're tapping into this atmospheric river, and then the real potent part of the storm is still due to come in this afternoon and this evening, so the rain is going to get slightly heavier. It has been heavy in some areas this morning, so if you do have a chance to maybe stay in, work remotely, you should try to do that, as we do expect quite a bit of flooding associated with the rain that's still due to fall between 2 p.m. 9 p.m. sort of the peak of the heaviest of the rain. Mud and debris flows very likely today, along with more of those swift water rescues. We have high surf and snow up above 8,000 feet at the moment. It will drop to near 6,000 and 5,500 feet by tomorrow. We have a slew of weather alerts in place, including those wind advisories and warnings for the mountains and deserts. Those wind gusts getting up close to 50, even 60 miles an hour. So hazardous driving conditions out there. And of course, those flood watches and flash flood watches in effect for portions of LA and Ventura counties. Here's our West Coast temperatures in the timeline as we get to 4:30. Notice the bright colors, yellows here. That's indicating some of the heavier downpours we're expecting this afternoon. 55 in Burbank, not really going to warm up much. You need that rain jacket and the umbrella and the rain boots. 59 in Palm Springs, 46 in Las Vegas. Back to you.
Thanks, Maria.
Hi there.
Hello, Galentine's. Happy Galentine's Day. And entertainment is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. You know who would be a great Galentine? Who? Viola Davis.
Oh,
okay?
Yes.
I mean, she can do no wrong, and now she's fighting to protect her family and country. Take a look.
My husband and kids are missing. We have to find them. If you want to live, you'll follow my lead. Now you're Captain America. Drop it! Guns, 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 guns.
President Danielle Sutton. You get around, don't you?
I'll get around to you, too.
Viola Davis is a 10, but it's all about G20, her latest project, in which she plays an American president at the G20 summit when she has to fight off terrorists threatening the global financial markets. Some of her co-stars include Anthony Anderson and Anthony Starr. It debuts April 10th on Prime Video. Well, today
she is amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah. And meeting her in person, you know, I don't get starstruck, but she's a lady legend.
I just finished her autobiography, and her life story is so inspiring. And gosh, talk about overcoming.
And the way she prayed for her husband and had a certain amount of checklist of what she wanted in a man, and she says that he checks all those boxes.
See, she manifested.
Literally.
What a Valentine's Day story,
well, right? And you know what? Some of our viewers manifested their love, too. So we've got SoCal sweethearts on display. Thanks for sending your pics of love to Good Day LA. Who do we have first? Happy Valentine's Day to Robert and Sandy. I've got a custom poem for you straight from Mandy. Your love story is getting everyone in the mood. And look at this photo. You two look good. You've been married since 2017. 8 years later, shining on our screen. So go ahead and take a look. This couple got their start meeting on Facebook.
Oh, how cute.
Happy Valentine's Day. Hold on. We have one more, though. Happy Day of Love to Veronica and Fernando. Let's give them love and make a fuss. Because, hey, ladies, they're just like us, waiting for the return of White Lotus. Married 36 years, and her cancer warrior hubby has no fears. So we are happy to celebrate you. Thank you for sharing, sending, and prayers and love. As a wife, you sound so caring.
Aww.
Sweet. Yes. I really loved not only seeing the photos of our viewers, but the stories. Some of them are really deep, and some of them are like, hey, I slid into his DMs, or I met him at a bar, and some are saying, you know, I'm by my husband's side as he's fighting cancer. And it just goes to show you in sickness and in health. You know, take those vows. Well, last hour, speaking of love, we asked you, do you celebrate any of these, ladies? Do you celebrate any of these, Sandra? Just don't say anything right now. Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, both or neither. Okay, so we're at a standoff here. We've got Valentine's Day, and we have neither.
Wow.
No.
Interesting.
Oh, 10% for both. that might be me.
How many times did you vote?
Actually, I didn't vote yet, so I got to vote. And maybe
it'll go up.
Boost it up.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Nothing for Galentine's, huh?
Yeah. Come on.
Where's the love?
Where's the love?
Yeah. Okay. All right, Amanda, we'll see if anything changes. Thank you. 9:25 still to come ahead of heavy rain. Mayor Bass spoke at a news conference this morning on the city's preparation efforts. We'll bring you the update after the break.
And don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment Prize Package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for your chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contest or link through the QR code on the screen. Good luck.
Welcome to a rainy Thursday coming up on 9:30 almost here. I'm Roxy Carapadian.
And I'm Sandra Enda. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at today's headlines. As we continue our storm coverage, a look at the conditions in Orange County, including the evacuation warnings in effect.
Plus, a judge restores President Trump's buyout offer to federal workers. What happens now for federal employees who are still working remotely?
And 2 high school students challenge President Trump's executive order against transgender athletes. We'll have details on the lawsuit. But first, of course, we start with this. LA officials giving an update ahead of the worst of the largest storm of the season, expected to slam the Southern California area in just a few hours.
Let's go to Bob live right now in downtown LA with more on this. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Yeah, a press conference just ended about 10 minutes ago. The Mayor Karen Bass, along with the police chief and the fire chief and the National Weather Service, all standing shoulder to shoulder, giving us an update on the preparations for this storm now passing through our area. They're here at the Emergency Operations Center, which has now been activated. It was activated yesterday and will remain activated throughout this storm. So through tomorrow, it's at a level 2 right now. So it's a heightened state of readiness, just so that they have the resources and they're prepared should anything happen. Their biggest concern, of course, is for those burn areas, for the potential of what they are saying is a severe mud flow, severe debris flows, or even flash flooding. One of the things that came out of the press conference just a few moments ago was that 106 homes have now been upgraded from a mandatory evacuation warning to a mandatory evacuation order. These are for several of those burn areas, including the Palisades fire, the Hearst fire, and the Sunset fire. They say that all of those people have been notified either through alerts, those automatic alerts you receive from your phones, through calls. They say that the LAPD has even been going door to door to notify folks that they need to leave their homes and to heed those evacuation warnings and now an evacuation order. They also said that they are continually monitoring the situation, that the fire department is going through these neighborhoods, checking those hillsides, and they're saying that they're using all of the technology here at the Emergency Operations Center to monitor the weather moment by moment. Take a listen.
We are monitoring radar, monitoring observations, all the gauges to get an idea about how much rain is going on right now, upstream, using all the cutting-edge science. And we're in constant communication with our emergency management, law enforcement, fire agency partners, mayor's office as well, so that everyone has that as much heads-up notice using the meteorology as possible about these potential impacts coming up in the near term.
That is Dr. Cohen, who runs the Los Angeles National Weather Service office, and he now says that they expect the biggest impact of this storm to happen after the 4 o'clock hour, between 4 and 9 in the evening. He says the most intense, organized parts of this storm will begin going through our area, and there's a potential for large rain amounts over a short period of time, and the potential also for wind gusts and thunderstorms as well. So they're keeping a close eye on the storm track as it comes through our area, and he says that anyone that is in that mandatory evacuation order should leave and should be prepared to leave at a moment's notice, and he says that we should all be listening to all of the alerts. So we'll keep an eye on the situation here at the Emergency Operations Center, but 4 to 9 is what he says is going to be the big problem spot for this storm. We'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bob. Appreciate that. In Orange County, voluntary evacuation warnings are in effect for areas near the airport fire burn scar.
Coco McAvoy is live in Rancho Santa Margarita, where residents are waiting to see what happens next. Coco?
Good morning, and that's really the best way to put it, is residents are waiting to see what happens next. There are voluntary evacuation warnings now in place in parts of Orange County, including here in Trabuco Canyon. You can see that there is a sign in place that talks about that flash flood watch and also an evacuation warning that's in place here. This is on Trabuco Canyon Road, and that's because Trabuco Canyon is one of the communities that's near the airport fire burn scar. Those areas are most at risk because of the fact that there could be flooding and debris flow. And you're now taking a look at the list of some of the other areas that are under voluntary evacuation. That also includes Hot Springs Canyon, Bell Canyon, Long Canyon, and Majeska Canyon. And the National Weather Service warns significant rainfall is expected today, and that heavy rainfall can lead to dangerous conditions. Now, right now, this is a voluntary evacuation warning, but the National Weather Service does warn that this could get upgraded, especially because it is going to be raining here throughout the entire day and into the evening. And that's why officials want people to have a plan in place for evacuations, especially people with large animals. They're really encouraged to get their animals moved before this afternoon. And this voluntary evacuation warning went into effect starting at 8 o'clock this morning. And we've noticed while we've been out here that the rain really goes in waves. At one point, it starts raining a little bit lighter, but then it really starts coming down more heavily as well. So residents really do have to wait and see what happens. And people located downhill from the airport fire burn scar are at the highest risk of flooding and potential debris flow as well, according to officials. So people in that area or anyone near the airport fire burn scar really need to be vigilant during this time. I'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Coco. Great advice there and reminders. And for updates on this developing story, just download the Fox Weather app from your app store for free. You can watch the radar on your street in real time.
New this morning, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The Senate confirmed him this morning in a 52-48 vote. All Democrats opposed him, while most Republicans supported him, except Mitch McConnell. Kennedy, an environmental lawyer, faced criticism for past vaccine comments. During hearings, he softened his stance, but didn't fully back vaccines. President Trump pushed for his confirmation, and key Republicans secured commitments from Kennedy on vaccine oversight and health policies.
And developing this morning, Hamas says it will release 3 Israeli hostages on Saturday as planned. Hamas had threatened to delay the release, saying Israel had violated the ceasefire agreement. This news may allow the ceasefire to stay in place for now, but earlier this week, President Trump said that all hostages must be released by noon on Saturday. Hamas says Egyptian and Qatari mediators will help work to continue the deal as planned.
This morning, the FAA is considering a permanent ban on non-emergency helicopters from operating near Reagan National Airport. This is in response to 67 people who were killed when an Army helicopter and an American Airlines plane collided near Washington, D.C. So since the tragedy, military choppers have been restricted from flying in and around the flight paths of commercial airliners, landing and taking off at DCA. A permanent ban would require Pentagon approval. Meantime, local lawmakers are asking the FAA for more transparency on how it plans to handle staffing concerns at Reagan.
In the meantime, President Donald Trump scored a win in his attempt to downsize the federal government. A federal judge cleared the way for his administration to offer buyouts to federal workers. According to U.S. Office of Personnel Management, about 75,000 workers have accepted that package. That represents about 4% of the workforce. The White House says it wants between 5 to 10% of employees to retire early or to resign as a way to trim the budget.
Not to do so, that's your prerogative. Guess what? We'll even give you up until October's pay. No problem, but you gotta go.
Workers who stay on will have to return to the office if they were previously working from home. Unions continue to raise questions about the feasibility and legal ability of Trump's buyout plan.
2 high school students are the first to challenge President Trump's ban on transgender athletes from participating in girls' and women's sports teams. Attorneys for the New Hampshire teenagers asked the judge to add President and members of his administration as defendants in the lawsuit originally filed in August. The students initially sued their schools and education officials over a similar ban enacted by New Hampshire. Last week, the president signed an order that effectively bars transgender athletes from participating in female sports. Schools that do not comply could have their federal funding taken away. Now, the White House has not yet commented on this lawsuit.
Back here locally, another school walkout over immigration policies is planned for today, this time at Alexander Hamilton High School on LA's west side. A number of similar protests have happened in recent weeks, with students voicing their disapproval of the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. Today's walkout will begin at 12:45 outside of the school.
Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco is expected to announce he is running for California governor. A campaign source tells Fox 11 he'll make the announcement Monday at an event in Riverside. Bianco, a Trump supporter, has long hinted at a 2026 run to replace the termed-out Governor Gavin Newsom. Bianco will become the highest-profile Republican to join the governor's race. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the last Republican elected governor, and that was in 2006.
Happening today Today, contract talks set to begin between the supermarket giants and thousands of local grocery workers. The United Work and Food, that is, and commercial workers say that it will begin negotiations today with Kroger and Albertsons, that union representing over 50,000 workers in California. Their contracts will be expired by early March. The UFCW's bargaining team says it is pushing for living wages, affordability, health care, reliable pensions, and improved working conditions. The union is planning a rally later this month in Buena Park to get the word out about their fight.
Coke cans could soon be harder to find as U.S. tariffs on aluminum may soon take effect. CEO James Quincy says the company may start producing more plastic bottles after President Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum. Quincy says its alternative to cans will help to keep its products affordable. The White House says the tariff is meant to prevent unfair foreign trade practices and protect America's aluminum and steel industry. The tariff is set to take effect on March 12th.
So yesterday we told you about Papa John's releasing this garlic sauce bath bomb, and today the obsession over pizza, skincare, and beauty continues. This time, though, Domino's hoping to hop on this trend. The company releasing a pepperoni pizza scented perfume just in time for Valentine's Day. After all, smelling like meat is very romantic. Of course, the fragrance comes in a pizza slice-inspired bottle and has a similar spice and peppery smell with hints of tomato and cheese. I want to take a look at that.
Hilarious.
Wow. It's very, wow. Okay. So here's the thing. It's not actually for sale. You have to win a bottle in a giveaway. And it's only available for people who live in the UK and Ireland. So can't even get it. Who knows, though, maybe we'll be receiving some love here in the U.S.
Oh, boy.
Eventually it'll come here. And
it said eau de passion.
Wow. I mean, I know some people love pizza. That's like taking it to a whole other level. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the commercial, though, cracks me up. Okay, coming up, a closer look at the weather forecast this morning, of course, as heavy rains make their way into our region.
And plus, testing a new feature, how Amazon customers can better search for the items they want to purchase.
And don't forget about today's hookup. Good Day LA wants to hook you up with an Inland Empire Entertainment Prize Package. 2 one-night hotel accommodations, 4 tickets to see Brantley Gilbert live in concert at the Toyota Arena, Ontario on March 6th, and a $250 dinner credit at PV's Prime Grill and Tequila Restaurant. Enter for your chance to win on our website at foxla.com/contest or link through the QR code right there on your screen.
All right, welcome back. We're watching the radar right now. Satellite radar pictures very active this morning. This is all part of the main storm system that's moving in. Some of the rain, heavy at times already this morning, but some of the heavier stuff still due to move in this afternoon. Picking up a heavier cell here in Canyon Country or just off Santa Clarita. Here's one of our computer models. As of this hour, you can see the mountains and foothills getting the moderate and stronger rain cells. As we get to 3 p.m., stronger storms moving in here or heavier rainfall as you get into San Bernardino and the San Bernardino Mountains this evening and tonight. So this is all going to continue hour after hour of continued steady rain, moderate to heavy at times. We're very concerned, of course, because of the continued rain, not just from flooding, but also some mud and debris flows. And there's even a chance for some thunderstorms. We're watching carefully for those higher rainfall rates, which could occur this afternoon. And that's when we start to see those rain rates at a ½ inch to 1 inch per hour, and at that rate can trigger those mud and debris flows. So please be careful as you are out and about today with flooded roadways. Remember the expression, turn around and don't drown. Weekend looks good, though, as you plan ahead for President's Day holiday. We've got some sunshine, temperatures warming up a bit, but we got to get through the rain and mountain snow today. A little bit of leftover showers for the better part of tomorrow, and then much drier conditions Saturday into the upcoming weekend. How about what to wear on a day like this? Are you still trying to decide? Let's get some tips from Jen. Jen's got her umbrella, definitely a must today. Maybe I would add the rain boots, Jen. It's definitely raining a bit harder. All right, you guys, I'll send it back to you.
Maria, thank you. The Grammy Museum in downtown LA is launching Sonic Playground. It's an interactive music experience opening tomorrow. This 30,000-square-foot exhibit lets visitors create music, perform on stage, and explore careers in the music industry. Highlights include the Electric Forest and a light and sound installation, hands-on activities guided by Grammy-winning artists. Sonic Playground is part of the museum's campaign for music education, which now offers free admission for visitors 17 and under.
Amazon helping customers find everything they need, even if they can't find it on the website. The company says it's testing out a new feature on the Amazon app that allows users to find specific items. If they're not on sale on Amazon, members with access to the beta test can actually search for the product, and the feature will provide a link to redirect customers to the brand's website. Amazon has yet to announce which brands and companies are participating in this feature. 9:47 still to come. Watch out for online dating scams, how Meta is protecting its users on Instagram from suspicious accounts.
Plus, repeating someone's name in conversation. Is it charming or is it creepy? We'll discuss.